All right, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Sunchild in the building. Supreme Cam. Good morning. Craig Tillman, what's going on? Dank Lucane, Big Block. James T. He fixed that fight. He fixed the fight. He fixed the fight. Turkey fixed the fight. Tank fight week, baby. That man fixed that fight. Live on TV for you to see. I boycotted the fight. I'm going to go to the end. Shout out to everybody if I don't read your stuff. I'm going to go all the way to the end. He fixed that fight live on TV. Fixed it. But you want Tank to go to Saudi Arabia? You want Tank to go to Saudi Arabia when Turki Alalshiek is fixing fights, world championship fights, right in your face. Turki Alalshiek is part of getting BoxRec, WBA taking off BoxRec. This dude gets the scorecards from judges he paid. Now watch this. The Carlos Adames Hamaz Shiraz fight was a fixed fight. And Turki Alalshiek fixed it on TV. and he fixed it on TV for you to see. Tank told you, yeah, but I'm going to tell you some more. Oh, people, put your money in the super chats today because I got some stuff from behind the scenes. I got some stuff from behind the scenes, Barbara D, for you. You know you haven't seen me in a few days. Barbara D, have you noticed that you haven't seen me in a few days? After my last live stream, I told you I was going to do my research on you. And I did my research on you. Yes, I did. Somebody has a really bad gambling problem. Somebody allegedly has a very bad gambling problem. I mean, a guy that would put $5 million down on a hand. $5 million on a hand of poker. High rollers. Have you ever heard of a high roller? A high roller is a guy that they really treat like they're the greatest thing in the world because they will go down there and they will bet $1 million on a hand of poker. They'll go into exclusive rooms and lose 15, 20, $30 million like it's nothing. Well, it seems like we have one of those in boxing. At least that's what I've heard. Rumors around people with a lot of money say that certain people bet ridiculous amounts of money on fights. Upwards of $50 million. A fight. $50 million a fight. They're betting $50 million a hand. That's a lot of money you're gambling, partner. That's a lot of money you're gambling there, partner. You sure putting a lot of money down on them tables. And you sure owe a lot of people some money. Don't you? Don't you? Seems like somebody owes somebody some money. And seems like somebody got caught on tape fixing a fight. Like niggas ain't got cameras. You can't yell and tell your guy 2 rounds. You can't rally the crowd when you're betting people $50 million. Rich man. Niggas want their money, homie. Niggas want their money, homie. They want their money, homie. They want their money. They want their money, homies. They want their money. No, he wasn't robbed because it was a split draw. So Adames kept his belt because it was a split draw. But listen to what he said. Listen to what Turki said. Turki said you're down 2 on the cards. No, he said you're 2 down on the card. He said you're 2 down on the card. There's 3 cards. Turki, which card was he down on? You said he's down 2. But dude, there's 3 judges. So which card were you down 2 on? The neutral judge? You were down 2 on the neutral judge, which means you had judges that were going the other way with the bets, huh? Let me explain to you guys. Boxing is a royal sport. Do your history about boxing. It's a royal sport, and it was meant for aristocrats and kings to gamble. So your excellency, who my understanding is worth closer to $3 billion. Not 3 million, 3 billion. Turki got money. That's my understanding. Turki got money. About 3 billion. But he also, according to my sources, has a terrible gambling problem and a terrible temper. So you guys going over there and fighting Saudi Arabia, you dummies. Go take your ass over to Saudi Arabia, where Floyd Schofield can catch a flu, where his blood pressure drops to almost death. In Saudi Arabia. Didn't that happen? I could have sworn that when I boycotted this fight, because I boycotted this fight, I didn't pay for this fight. I did not watch Beterbiev, Bivol. I didn't pay for it. I didn't give him a dime. And I let my DAZN subscription run out. I'm not going to be partaking in you guys exploiting me for my money. Not another second. You guys got caught on tape fixing that fight. On tape. You guys are giving exclusive contracts to YouTube clowns for high amount of money just to besmirch Tank so you can force Tank to go to Saudi Arabia so you can rip them off. Dubois got sick too. Motherfuckers catching colds, COVID before. Y'all are cheating. Sorry, muted. Y'all are cheating. You got caught cheating. You probably tried to welch out of a deal by having it be a draw. He probably tried to welch out of a bet by forcing it to be a draw. Man, look, bro. I'm back now. Niggas know you're gambling, bro. We know you're gambling. We know you guys make your money off gambling, not off the actual event. So why would he be willing to lose all this money in all these events so he's losing tens of millions of dollars in? He got a gambling problem, bro. That's what I heard. I can't say if it's true or not. I don't know. But it all looks like it, doesn't it? Doesn't he look like a fat, angry sports fan with a gambling problem? Look at Turki Alalshiek and how he acts. Doesn't he act like a spoiled, rich billionaire with a gambling problem because he could never be an athlete? Ain't that what he looks like? Isn't that how he behaves? Like he's trying to get attention on him, so because his money isn't enough, so he wants the whole world to worship him. A little control, Napoleonic control freak over the sport of boxing, who just got busted fixing a fight, and who got people getting sick. You got people going over to Saudi Arabia getting sick. Okay, guys, keep going to Saudi Arabia, you dummies. Keep going to Saudi Arabia, you dummies. I tried to tell you, but guess who didn't get my money? Turki Alalshiek did not get a dime of my money this weekend. Not a dime. And he will never get another dime of my money. And I always told you I don't gamble. Gambling between royals is why boxing is allowed. Dude, you don't know how much money Putin may put on a Beterbiev fight. I heard Putin gambles. I heard Putin's a high roller. I heard Jeff Bezos is a high roller. I mean, these billionaires are high rollers. They will gamble $5-10 million a hand. And they will cheat. And when they get caught cheating, it's trouble for real. So anyway, would anybody like to debate the fact that Turki Alalshiek just got caught fixing a fight? I hear how the media is describing it. And then Mike Coppinger, because I know you're listening, son, little man. How are you going to try to change the topic to the people that are in the ring and outside of the ring too? Too many people inside the ring, outside the ring. What does Mike Coppinger mean by that? Are you trying to bully the officials with a lot of people in the ring? Jumping on top of people, trying to force them to change things? You should hear the story of the first major fight that took place in Great Britain between Tom Mellenwa and Tom Cribb. And all the things that were done in the crowd to prevent Tom Mellenwa from winning that fight. That's the reason there are ropes. You know why there are ropes in the ring? It's not for the fighters. It's to keep people out. Breadman Edwards brought up a great point. You need a ring. You need a circle around there to keep the mob from hanging on top of the fighters. Because if the mob is on top of the fighters, what can you do? You can't do nothing. You have to do what they say. You can't. You heard what they did. Did you not see? Let me show you something. I can give you an example of it, of what I'm talking about.
Dude,
Look at this. Look at this rope.
heart, bro. Like Tank.
Look at the guys.
Like
Look at the guy yelling
with me at 14, 13, bro. His
You see
mama,
all the
his mom and
people
them had to
around,
drive
how
to
they said-
Cincinnati to come get that nigga away from me, bro. Like, this is my real little brother.
Yeah.
Like for real, bro.
Did you ever see him spar any of them?
Yeah.
What happened? Who he sparred?
Y'all know what happened, man.
I don't know.
He sparred Devin, right? And
You was there?
hell yeah, I was there. And he sparred in About Billion shirt.
Gervonta?
Yeah. He got right off the plane, was fucking around, and went to the gym and sparred Devin. And I was about to fight Sean Porter. We was at Floyd Gym, packed. I just had weighed in, right? And we went to the gym. It's packed, it's hot. They get in there. Tank hit that nigga. He hit him, boom. Then he hit him again, and he went out. I jumped in the ring because at the time Devin is 17, I'm like, hell no, this a kid. Hell no, it's gonna fall on us. If you know what I mean? If he really get fucked up like that. So what happened was Bill jumped in the ring, his dad, Haney,
BH.
jump in the ring. And then it was about to go down. About Billions versus them niggas. It was about to go down. But it calmed down. It calmed down. And they got.
Now you see that crowd all around those people? Do you know Gervonta Davis and Adrian Bronner have to leave that place, right? With $20,000 on the table. Now, if you think these boxing guys are betting $20,000 for sparring matches between kids, what do you think big heavy rollers from Saudi Arabia, from Europe are putting on kids fighting in the actual fight? They're putting tons of money on it. Tons of money on it. That's why I don't gamble. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. What's up, Queen Vaughn? This is disgusting, and I can't wait to see how you guys report this. I told you I took a week out. Somebody said that Turkey out, that these guys and Arabs, look, man, I also heard that too. Secret. I told you, this is for Barbara D. I'm only going to do this, and I'm not supposed to do this no more. But I'm only going to do it. I'm going to get in trouble. But I'm going to do it. Because honestly, I like you young black fighters. I do. I like you. So I did some poking around. And I just so happened to have some family in Saudi Arabia. Not directly related, but, family. I have family there. A loved one of mine has family there. Let me put it that way. And they are very, very, very wealthy people and come to the United States on a regular basis. And, friends with the royal family. They know Turkey. They know of Turkey. They know of him. And suffice it to say this. Boy, the rumor is y'all better keep y'all shirts on around that man. Hey man, that man run around holding hands with you for a reason, boy. They say that shit is culture. Why does this little man want to hold hands with everybody, bro? He want to hold hands with people that are not from Saudi Arabia. Hold my hand. Hey, man. Hey, man. Military tells stories, bro. Military tells stories, dog. The military tells stories, bro. Anyway. Oh my God. What up, Mike Biggs Boxing? Hey, man. He said Turkey on the Diddy time. Hey, man, seriously though, man. You guys, man, look, dude, a lot of money breeds perversion. I'm just telling you. A lot of money breeds perversion. It does. And did you ever see the movie? It was about a middleweight in the 1960s. It was a middleweight in the 1960s. And Hurricane Carter. You remember Hurricane Carter? The movie Hurricane Carter? And how Hurricane Carter, when he's a little kid, the movie implied somebody tried to give him his watch. This dirty old man tried to give him a watch and put it on because he's trying to, recruit this little kid. So Hurricane Carter told him no and told him to not take the watch or whatever. So the old, dirty, creepy white dude that offered the watch then had a personal vendetta out on Hurricane Carter. And he just so happens, the real story behind it, my understanding is that he was a very, 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 very wealthy person that was very influential in boxing and used to gamble a lot of money and gambled money against other high rollers. And see, a lot of people don't understand that that's how a lot of corruption in government starts, with gambling debts. A lot of them. So you'll have somebody that is a government official and they'll be just playing a friendly game with somebody that is a billionaire, and the billionaire will cheat him in a game. And this dude got a gambling addiction, and now he owes this guy a lot of money. It's not that they just give him money. They'll gamble them out of money. And they'll also set him up on prostitutes. They'll do a lot of other stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's the other flip side of a RICO. I'm telling you. It's the flip side of a RICO. You can see it right from there. I'm telling you, man. Organized crime is real. Everybody knows organized crime is real. Crime has to be organized. That's the only way it can happen on a systematic basis. Gambling is a big part of it. And gambling is a linchpin because it's entertainment. And it's not, people say that they want sports washing for the image. No. They come and they bring these events and they gamble. People gamble on all these events. And the high rollers go, and the high rollers put a bunch of money down. Other high rollers put a lot of money down. Again, boxing is a game of aristocrats. The only reason it's around is the gambling. So if you see somebody running around flashing money, I don't care what the volume is that they're doing, but he's exactly what he looks like. He looks like a gambling addict. He's a billionaire gambling addict with a gigantic ego who fixed a fight and tried to rob Carlos Adames of his title. But more importantly, my understanding is, and I could be wrong, don't know this is for sure, but the rumor is that he also bet a lot of money on that fight because that's his guy. Just like he said Devin is his guy. Now, what does that mean amongst the aristocrats? That means that you are his champion. Now, go back to slavery, where boxing really started in the United States. What was it? It was an owner and it was a slave, and the owner owned the slave, and the slave, there was the fighter, got a lot of money and got good things because he fought for that person. But ultimately, he was fighting for that person. And it was a bet. They put up the money for the fight, for the event, but they are making their money on the gamble that they have the person they have the issue with. That's kings, queens, emperors, presidents, senators, congressmen, high-level entertainers. Look how much money they brag about gambling on every fight. It's gambling, man. That's why Vegas is the Vegas, and no, man. I'm telling you, RICO. I'm telling you, RICO. Dude, and this is not me having, and I do have a lot of inside information. Of course I do. I'm me. You know me. I have it. So don't act like you don't know I have it. I have it. And I went to work last week. That's what I did when I took time off. I went to work. I went back to work. I cut a couple deals for some people, and they made a good amount of money off those deals. And I set my ass back down. And I got exactly what the hell I needed, which is a couple questions about your boy. I just need to know a little information about your boy. Yeah, I'll introduce you to him. No worries, man. Just call him. Don't worry. Hey, man, you're trying to do it. Don't worry, man. Call him. Just call him. Tell him I told you to call him. Tell him. That's what I do. I say, tell him that I said to call him. Don't worry. You know who to call. He got all the information. Just tell him I told him to call you. And you're good. We'll roll off. So I did that for like 4 or 5 days, bro. And I got enough information on you bums to flip you on your back for eternity. So be very fucking careful, nigga. And I'm telling you, you know who I am. I ain't got to talk about my family. I ain't got to talk about nothing else. Because I told my family I wouldn't talk about my family. I'll talk about me, though. I'll talk about me, though. And you know you just got caught fixing a fight, buddy. Turkey, I know you listen. And I know you don't like me, Turkey. I know you don't like me, Turkey. Me and you had an argument, Turkey, on Twitter. Under a pseudonym. You said I ruffled your feathers. That's what you told me. Yeah, Turkey. You told me. Just like you can talk to all these other people and email them and tweet them and talk to journalists directly. I know what your ghost handle is, buddy. I know what your ghost handle is. And you said I ruffled your feathers. Your feathers ain't ruffled yet, buddy. Your feathers ain't ruffled yet, buddy. It ain't my money. It ain't my money. Well, it is, but it ain't my money. Anyway, let me get these super chats. Phenomenal Show said, I'm sponsoring the chat. Let's go. No worries. So anyway, like I said, I took a lot of time off because my parents moved in with me. So we had to put up this really big clock, and actually the clock was already up. I had a lot of mopping, a lot of cleaning to do this week. A lot of, vacuuming, dusting, just did a lot of work, man. Really spent a lot of good family time this week. So I feel a lot more rested. And I'm glad, and thank you so much, Phenomenal Show, for sponsoring this. And also encouraging me to look into these things. Because honestly, man, I don't usually play at this level. You know what I mean? I don't usually play at this level. But okay. Ja Money says, shout out to you, Fanon. Turk looks sus. He's not suspect. He's obvious. He's not sus. Turkey Alalshiek is not suspect. He's exactly what you know him to be. A billionaire snob from Saudi Arabia. And the explanation is a billionaire snob because he thinks he needs to hold your hand and you got to call him your excellency. Most people with titles, real official titles, after you call them at once, will just say, nah, just call me Turkey. Especially if you're at something like a boxing event or whatever. But whatever. Barack will tell you, just call me Barack. You can't call President Barack every time you see him. Hi, President Obama. President. Hey, no. Man, just call me Barack. That's fine. I got it. You know I'm the president. Call me Barack. That's what he'll do. Man, come on, man. The Pope. My father met with the Pope. Brother met with the Pope. Son met the Pope. Said the Pope was a very nice guy. Very down-to-earth, nice guy. They had an official event, and you can see it in the newspapers if you look up Robert David Blackwell. It's in the newspapers. Said that he was a very nice guy. They actually got to call him by his first name. Conversation. Got to call him by the first name. Anyway, like I said, but that's Robert David Blackwell and Barack Obama. They go do those things. But I'm telling you, I hear from a distance away from them the conversations that take place out there. And I'm telling you, gambling is a big problem, man. Gambling starts wars. That's something else. You don't know that some of those wars that took place in like antiquity started with gambling. They were perfectly fine getting along, and then some prince rips off another prince in a gambling match. But you used to gamble on things like tennis. So like it used to be like serious business. If two kings were playing tennis and one king called the line out and he knew that they were cheating and they bet money and that guy paid and then he found out that he cheated, you have whole wars that start that way. Whole wars. So if you understand that boxing is an aristocratic sport, that's why these guys walk around in bow ties. You ever notice that? They got to wear bow ties, and it's like it's a special event. They're wearing tuxedos. Why would you be wearing tuxedos? Because you are in the presence of royalty. When you fight the boxing champion, that's why they say it's a global sport. That's the history of boxing. You should look up the history of boxing and not always just follow these YouTube channels that only want to tell you the things like there's no demand for Gervonta Davis's fight. Well, I'm going to watch that one. If there was no demand for Gervonta Davis's fight, what kind of you think there was a big demand for Beterbiev and Bivol. By the way, you know what I find mighty ironic? I find it ironic that boxing match, that Riyadh boxing card, was only a few days after Putin and Trump met in Saudi Arabia for a meeting in Riyadh. Did you notice that? The two Russian fighters were fighting each other in Saudi Arabia while Vladimir Putin was there. They were both in Saudi Arabia preparing for that when Vladimir Putin was there. They don't tell you who's in them fights, man. They had all kind of Russian officials that were in those were in that Riyadh place. Why they want them having in Saudi Arabia? So that they can bait the officials to come there to negotiate their problems throughout the world. That's why didn't Saudi Arabia just host Trump and Putin together in Riyadh the same week as that fight? The same week that you see Turki Alalshiek cheating people over money? This is politics, man. And if you understand politics, politics affects every area of human endeavor. Every entertainment, religion, sex, war, politics, education, every bit of it is encompassed in what we consider to be politics. And again, you got people betting $5-10 million a hand. Who are those people? Who could be these people in these rooms that they fly out on jets just to bring them? They will fly jets out there to get them and bring them. They bet so much money that they will get a jet, send the jet to them, get the jet, get the person, fly them internationally on their jet to bring them to play some poker. That shit costs about $200,000 just to make the trip on a private jet. But for somebody betting $5 million a hand, that's nothing. And you can believe it or not, there's a lot of Mexicans that got that money like that are betting on these people. And it's cool if you want to have Riyadh season be a place where you can have boxing and you can have events there. And people can, and major politicians and world drama can help be solved in Riyadh, which will make Saudi Arabia a sort of a world power, because it can be where great kings or presidents or whatever they are can come and sort their differences out together in a peaceful, neutral place. Yes, that would be good for Riyadh. That's great for Saudi Arabia. But not having one of their officials getting caught fixing a fight live on TV the same week. On the underbelly of that, let's talk politics. MH Blackwell video. Let's talk politics for a second. Let's understand that Putin was there. Putin was there watching that fight, more than likely. Or his officials were there, and Putin most definitely met with those two Russian fighters who were fighting for a world champion in Riyadh. And how do we know that the reason that Putin decided to do it in Riyadh couldn't have been because he could have said, hey, Trump, let's meet at a boxing match. Oh, man, I heard, they got my Russian fighters are fighting in Saudi Arabia this weekend. Hey, we can meet the week before, get the business, and then after that, all of our friends and family can enjoy Saudi Arabia and the hosting of Saudi Arabia for this historic meeting that changed the entire world order. Did we miss this Saudi Arabia and the United States and Russia kept Ukraine out of a meeting in Saudi Arabia? Zelensky's a high roller. Like I said, bro, I studied political science and I studied history. You play with the money of people like that, that stuff causes problems. It causes people to have fractions. It has people that you would not like each other, because they're like, man, if I can't trust you if I can't trust you in a bet over some cards. Why would I why would I trust you with the future of my country? That's political science. That's where all your sports come from. All of them. Chess. These are games of the aristocracy meant to bring them together so that they could befriend and make the world a more hopeful place. And that's why Riyadh wanted that. It's very obvious if you understand world politics, really. I don't like to talk about it a lot, but that's very obvious. And boxing is an entertainment. It's something, hey, it's somewhere to go, like a convention, right? Why do you want to go to Vegas for your convention? Because you can gamble. Why would politicians want to go to a convention where you can gamble? So Riyadh, you can gamble. It's also an Islamic country, so it's conducive to a large population of people in their traditions. So it's very neutral culturally between the United States and Russia. And it's not a military threat at all. So they can go, both of them can blow that thing off the map anytime they want. So they go there. But you guys embarrass Saudi Arabia by fixing a fight right in these world politicians' faces when they're gambling money. And if they think the one undercard can get fixed that blatantly, how do we can trust the entire event? And how can we trust your nation when we go there? This is basic human relations. Human relations. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Would you want somebody to get up in the middle of you competing and tell only your opponent what the score is? And only one score. He wasn't interested in the other two. He was only interested in the one score that you were 2 points down against. It's disgusting. And I told you, people will get rid of boxing if you do it at that level. You're saying it's global. Man, will you stay to local? Man, when you boys start playing around and walking around kings and queens and shaking these people's hands, man, you better believe there's really major money on that table. They're paying you if they can afford to pay you, right? I can afford to pay you $20 million. And what do they do with the PBC? Guarantee their gate. That's what the PBC got when Turki Alalshiek went against the PBC. Some rich folks said, man, I can't believe this asshole did that. Man, I'll guarantee your gate. Don't worry. You'll make your money. We're having our event. If this affects our gate, don't worry about it. I'll cover it. Just annoying. Just annoying. And then you find out that the Turki Alalshiek event that went up against it lost all kind of money. Losing all kind of money just to offset this event. What are you doing? Trying to do? Split the gambling money or something? Like, seriously, man. You guys think people are blind. I can connect boxing with politics and gambling. The trifecta. Boxing, politics, gambling. Gamble on the politics. Gamble on the boxing. Politics makes it legal. So you don't get arrested for doing it. Having human cockfights. Who do you think can keep human cockfighting alive? But people that were dropping $20, $30 million a hand. I'm telling you, I heard a story about a great Egyptian named Mansa Musa. Well, Mansa Musa, they say he's from the West. But do you know Mansa Musa? The legend is Mansa Musa liked to play games. Mansa Musa bet on a game. You better believe that shit better be straight up and down for all the money he's betting on them games. That man was worth $400 billion 1,000 years ago. And yes, he gambled. And yes, Africans fought and they ran and he did all kind of other events that he paid for. And then he would bet other people on the outcome. But if he cheated or the other person cheated, it's war. It's war. These are people with armies and huge egos. And they decide to be, they walk around and they want you to call them Your Excellency. Let me tell you, I went to a boxing event in Washington, D.C. one time. Very, very, very exclusive event. I mean, when I'm telling you it's an exclusive event, Bob Johnson, who's a billionaire, the first black billionaire, he was sitting 3 rows back from me. And I was sitting at the absolute front. And let me tell you how much Muhammad Ali gloves are going for there. They were going for like $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 for the Tommy Hearns glove. I could have gave them those same people that Tommy Hearns gloves. They would have auctioned that shit off for like $10,000, $15,000. And I asked them because I was with the mayor of DC at the time, and I was talking to a dude and somebody's like, "Man, why don't you bid on it?" And I was thinking, man, I'm not about to pay $10,000 for an Ali glove. You know what I mean? I know I can get one of those I got one of those for like $50 in Vegas. So, but anyway, they're like, yeah, we don't care. We really just want the money. You know, we're just doing it for the cause. They had Roberto Duran there. They had all kind of former world champions in the ring. It's called the Night at the Fights in DC. You know, it's like, I don't know, $20,000 a table to sit there. I got in. I wasn't going to pay $20,000 for a table. My boy had just won the mayor of DC, so he went to the event and we went together. That's my fraternity brother. So we went together. Me and my brother Adrian went to that thing. So don't tell me I don't know how much money these motherfuckers is gambling. I know how much money they're gambling. I know them. I know them. I met them. I shook their hands. Hey, how you doing? I'm the mayor of DC, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I do this, I do that. These dudes are big boxing fans, man. And they'll pay $10,000 for the glove of their favorite fighter to give it to a good cause before they will go get it from a reseller for like 1/3 of the price. They absolutely will. Try it. Get the autographed gloves that I gave you. Go try to get an auction for like a cause with some very wealthy people that are Tommy Hearns fans. They will pay all kind of money for that glove, and because they'll put a value on it. See, you think, oh, I can only get it for $100. Why would you pay $30? Because I want to put that value on it. That's how much I value it. See, their thoughts are, yeah, $100 to you is $100. But really, Martin, this $30,000 for me is like $3. So I'm getting the glove. I'm not going to pay like nothing for it because I have so much money that I'm going to pay more for it. Right? So that they know that the person that bought it, what they think of you. It's not the same thing when you're a billionaire. That's why they pay more money for things and they give a bunch of money away and all that stuff. But anyway, that's just the mindset of people in that you guys, you know. Anyway, Turki Alalshiek got busted. Intimidating. And now watch this shit. How did he get the score? Phenomenal show. Peep this. I told people Patty was always going to fight Shakur, not Kid. It's all fake. Peep this. I told people Padley was always going to fight Shakur, not Kid. It's all fake. I don't doubt that at all. I'll check it out today. Sorry, man. I'm behind. I get it. Dave Jackson said, Tank's team is great. Hip to all the games. Yes, sir. And Gaither said, peace, my brother. You talk. You talk and be real careful. Man, let me tell you, Mr. Gaithers, I take that as an insult. Mr. Gaithers. You put this 2 on this, bro. I'm gonna tell you, bro, I kind of take that a little bit of it as an insult. They can't do nothing to me. They can bully you. They can't bully me, bro. If they could have bullied me, they would have bullied me by now. Trust me. No, they can't. You can be careful if you want to be careful. Me? I say it every time one of you guys asks me to be careful because what I'm telling you is so real and so serious. I'm telling you, I can say whatever I want to say to whoever I want to say it, wherever I want to say it. God is good. God has me. If me telling you the truth sets you off in any type of way, hey man, I'm sorry. that you feel that way. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold my tongue. There's people in Philadelphia that I care about. There are people all throughout the United States that I care about. I care about Lori Reed. Lori Reed is in Baltimore. She's a big supporter of Tank. I care about her. I care about Barbara Davis. These people help me when I need it. So what am I going to do? Sit up here and repay them by holding my tongue when there's information that I have and understanding that I can have that can justify the money that she gives me almost every time I speak to you guys? She helps me. Phenomenal Show helps me. Every time I need it, they're there for me. But you expect me, because some boogeyman from Saudi Arabia can make you scared, that means I'm not going to say the things that I want to say? God is great. God is great. And there's real soldiers out there in the world ducking real bullets. I'm not going to hold my tongue for a boogeyman from Saudi Arabia. Nigga, you a boogeyman. You're a boogeyman. You got to have fight, man. So what, man? I'm 50. Hey, guess what? I'm 55 years old. I lived a good life, buddy. That's what I want you to put on my grave. If I died tomorrow, I'm 55 years old. I lived a good life. I've had so much more than anybody could have ever, than I could have ever expected, than I could have ever wanted. I already have. So if that's the end of the chapter, it's the end of the chapter. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Got to end sometime anyway. And I don't believe in death. I'm just telling you. From a metaphysical level, I don't believe that that's the truth. I just think that you just reform your body under a different scenario, probably within the same family. So, you know, it is what it is if you guys want to bully me, but it's not going to work. I'm telling you, you guys, that boy got caught fixing a fight. I hear the way that you're talking about it on Twitter and how the journalists are talking about it. It's a scandal. This needs to be changed. No, don't bury the headline. Turki Alalshiek caught fixing a fight live on DAZN in front of about 20,000 witnesses. Because my understanding is they got about 20,000 people that watch them fights. That's why you got to pay for the whole thing. Because he got about 20,000 people watching them fights. That's my understanding. There's nothing about these dudes that are real, man. I'm telling you, bro. There's nothing about these dudes that are real. Nothing. But other than the kids getting punched in the face, bleeding all over the place, risking slurred speech to feed their family. Because they get a chance to fight for some of your rich boy coins. You know what I mean? You throw a coin out there to pay them while you reap the money gambling and fix the fight. I told you, you trust your career with him? You trust your career with that? Did you see that fake fight with Martin Bacoli and Joseph Parker? Let's talk about that fake knockout. Hey, where you at, Joe? Where you at, Joe? Dude, Martin Bacoli took a dive. Bro, don't be insulted, bro. Oh, no worries, Jason Gathers. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. I'm sorry, man. You know, I get that, though. No, for real, because I don't do political talks. I pay attention to politics a lot. I do. It's kind of, I have to. That's my favorite thing. Like I said, my undergrad degree was in political science. I've worked on at least 6 mayoral elections, worked to get presidents elected, senators, congressmen, supported politicians throughout the country. And I know what their interests are. And I also know who they report to. They report to, really, just like everybody knows, the people with the money, the donor class. I'm in the donor class. I'm what you call a donor class. So since I'm firmly in the donor class, I know what these guys are doing, and I know how you get your laws passed, and I understand all that stuff. I understand all that stuff. I know what your media is doing. It's propaganda. Bunch of propaganda. CNN is just as much propaganda as this bullshit Blue Blood is. Because Blue Blood's bullshit and pure propaganda. I mean, 100% propaganda. And you guys can say what you want to say. That's where that money's coming from. Turki Alalshiek is investing in that stuff. How are these people getting paid this much money on fights that lose money? They're not Uber. They're not trying to build an infrastructure, or are they trying to build an infrastructure? And what infrastructure are you trying to build exactly? A social infrastructure? That's what they did. They did. And then Bill Haney tried to taunt me with the widgets. Like, man, Bill, beat it, Bill. Oh, by the way, Bill, I know who you work for, Bill. Just so you know. Just so you know, partner. I know you're listening. Hey, Omar said, mwah. Hey, I'm going to get in trouble for this. Tell Bill Omar said, what up? Go holler at Omar, Bill. $5. Ben said Turki monopolizing boxing every single one. So guys who have their own brand have to come to him for a fight on his terms. Exactly. It's a ripoff thing, man. They just don't know, man. They just don't know, Fanon. Keep living that good life. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor. I will continue to live that good life, brother. I'm gonna continue to live that good life, bro. Thank you, man. We family for sure. We family for sure, for sure. On phone them. On phone them. Let me get back to the chat. Man, we got 11. Porter Pools, what up, man? What's up, my Messianic partner? Porter got that Messianic vibe to him. Yeah, you do. Let me read it. I'm going to start reading some comments now. Oh, check my Cash App. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what you saw. So let me give you the behind the scenes. I'm going to give you the whole picture. I'm not going to give you the behind the scenes, that mess they make up. These dudes ain't behind the scenes. They under the thing. They're under the scene. They are under the scene. That's why they act like cockroaches. Acting like, oh, they got all these contacts, bro. Trust you, me, bro. Trust you, me. We know Turkey, bro. We know Turkey. Cash App. Ooh, thank you so much. Oh, man, thank you, Barbara D, with the $20 holla. Thank you so much for the $20 holla, Barbara D. And Wilbur says some support. Thank you, brother. I need the support. Thank you so much, man. My guy Bird 101 in the building. Thank you, bro. So, yeah, man. So let's do this again, because I want you guys over there on Twitter. This is for you Twitter people. Notice that the name of the convention that took place the same week of this fight in Riyadh had Vladimir Putin in the United States in a historic meeting where they changed the whole world order. It was huge for Riyadh. It's bigger than Camp David. Think about it. I'm talking boxing with you niggas. Because it's Riyadh season, right? Well, what's Riyadh? Well, Riyadh's a place because Putin was in Riyadh. Putin is the president, they say dictator, almighty emperor of Russia, who was in there, who had 2 Russian fighters fighting. I wonder if Putin put any money on that fight. I mean, I wonder if Putin put any money up for the fight to take place. I wonder who actually paid for that. They said they paid for it, right? But do you know you cannot have those people in those countries at that time that Putin is there and Trump is there without having all of their security checked? Do you know that there's not any Americans or Russians that are going to be in that nation at the time those presidents are in that nation without those people being absolutely positively screened? The security for that meeting must have been unreal. The security for that shit. And they threw so you got a lot of people there because they don't come by themselves. They don't come there by themselves. They're coming there with an army. Just so you know, when Putin goes to Riyadh, he don't jump on the Arab airlines. He comes with a full military squadron or whatever you call it. He comes with a whole military complement. Him. So does Trump. So I wonder who they were putting that fight on for. Which makes me think who was really paying for that fight. You say it comes out of Riyadh season budget, but would they let the Riyadh season entertainment budget pay for something like that? Probably not. Probably not. Because that shit was under military lockdown. You're not having tourists come in there. What tourists are going to come there? You got to be connected with that fight to be there that week. Anyway, Putin finna look for nah, I fucks with Putin, bro. Nah, I love Putin, bro. I fucks with my dad. My dad don't like the fact that I like Putin. Nah, Putin ain't coming looking for me. I like Putin. I've never had a problem with Putin. I've always liked that, the whole balance of power thing, to me, I think 3 strong nations are better than one strong nation with 50 weak ones, another fighting another strong nation with 50 weak ones, and another one with 2 or 3 weak ones. It makes much more sense for China and the U.S. and Russia to partner with one another. It ends all their trade problems. It pretty much shuts down all the issues in the Middle East. Seems like a good idea to me. Baturvia said that they forced him to do the rematch. He didn't want to do it. There you go. Of course. Let me tell you something, man. Phenomenal show, and I'm going to say this for you. Please remember where slavery started and what slavery is. We always have conversations about slavery, and we never talk about wage slavery. In wage slavery and in chattel slavery contracts, it's still based in contract. The whole thing is based in contract. So when you enter into contracts with slave traders, you better believe they know how to get people into slavery. And they got more than one type of slavery to put you in. Oh, they'll do chattel slavery, debt slavery. It don't matter. As long as you're working every minute of your day for them. Debt. Exactly. Capitalism to make anything a person, place, or thing that you can sell. Again, contracts. Exactly. Consumerism, slavery. Absolutely. They got it in every flavor. And yet you want to go over there and fight. Ain't it bad enough here? Porter Pools, I boycotted it. What I thought was I boycotted it. I found out information about Turki Alalshiek, and I said, I'm not buying that fight. And I kept my money. I didn't watch that shit. Nope. Not going to do it, bro. I'm not putting my money on that. Sorry. Sports is one thing. You know what I mean? Like, you like to play cards. But are you going to burn down somebody's house over a card game? Yeah, you shouldn't. But if somebody wants to burn your house down over a card game, something's really wrong. And why is that? Because the person that wants to burn your house down over a card game was gambling and is in tremendous fucking debt. And let me tell you something, man. Fuck boy, that man got videos with my names on it. Are you kidding me? That clown got videos with my face on it and name on it. What do you mean? Them clowns did like a week of videos on me, man. What's my secret past? I heard that shit. What's his secret past? How does he earn a living? I'm rich, bitch. That's how I make a living. I'm rich, bitch. I'm just not liquid. Should I say, my family's rich, bitch. So I'm not going to starve ever. You kidding me? I have my ups and downs, bro. But that's what generational wealth is about, bro. Generational wealth is not about money in your pocket, man. It's about your family around you. And if you're in trouble, who you can call when you're in need. And as long as you have the options, you as rich as your options. As long as I got options, what? I'm telling you. Propaganda, buddy. Did you hear Donald Trump kicked out? Hey, anybody want to hear a political rumor? Anybody want to hear a political rumor? Political rumor? Missed out on the big man. Get the fuck out of here. The biggest rematch of the century. Oh, dumbass. You think that fight was bigger than Kovalev Andre Ward? You think that was bigger than Kovalev Andre Ward? You think it was bigger than Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez? Dude, it's Arthur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, dude. Will you guys please? Will you guys? Hell yeah. Done up the rakes. Hell yeah. Man, come on, man. It's Arthur. Why you guys lie and say these fights are big so you can justify all this fake money? What are you doing? You're trying to say it's big so you can justify all this fake cryptocurrency you're running around throwing? Is that what it is? Let me guess. The fights have to be big. So that way, and you're paying all this money so you can justify all this money. Man, them views are fake, and so is that cryptocurrency money. They're both fake, buddy. Bro, they're both fake. Cryptocurrency money and fake views. They're both fake. Okay? Come on, man. The Wizard of Oz. Man, look, dude. The Wizard of Oz, just pull a curtain, dude. There's somebody yanking cords. But anyway, we know who it is. Because the Wizard of Oz got caught fixing a fight. The Wizard of Oz got caught fixing a fight because they pulled the curtain out and his ass was, "You're 2 rounds down. You're 2 rounds down. You're 2 rounds down." Again, Turkey. 2 rounds down on all 3 cards? No. He was not down 3 rounds on all 3 cards. He was down on 1 card, Turkey. So you got the score of 1 card, the neutral judge. Let me tell you something about boxing and how boxing this judge should be working. It's been my observation that the scorecards always look like this. One scorecard looks like it's heavy one way. The other scorecard looks like it's heavy the other way. And there always is a judge that's kind of in between, and that judge kind of makes the decision. If the other ones are so wildly across from one another. So basically, one judge gives all the close rounds to one guy. The other judge gives all the close rounds to the other guy. And the middle round, the one is what you call the trump. The middle judge is a trump card. for the gamblers. It's a trump card for the gamblers. I told you there's federal investigations going on, buddy. There's federal investigations going on, man. I'm trying to save your asses. We know how the judges work and how you do it. You have one, because you got two big heavy rollers that are paying for this fight. Let's be real. Two big heavy rollers pull strings to get the fight done. If they don't want the fight, they do all kind of shit to break it up because they don't want to take the bet. So they won't fight a guy because they don't want their guy to have to fight that guy, which means they're going to lose money to their champion. So these guys, usually the promoters, but not always the promoters, have one judge that is for one promoter, the other judge that is for another promoter, or the other fighter, whoever the champion is. Doesn't even matter if it's the promoter. Whoever that guy represents is the champion. It's really putting the money up. So they get a judge, the other person gets a judge, and then you got a middle judge, which is supposed to be neutral, but is the Trump judge. The Trump judge is the one that people always want to bribe. So the Trump judge is the one, I'm being told, the one that Turkey said to. I'm telling you guys are under, I'm telling you, some of you guys are under federal investigation. I'm just telling you, bro. And because I can tell you, I got immunity. Shh. Guess why I can say this? I got immunity. Yeah, I do. Anyway, I love boxing. Allegedly. Oh, I'm sorry. I allegedly have immunity. Where's he been? Where does he work? What did he do for a living? Some shit I got immunity from. Anyway, man, I ain't do nothing wrong, nigga. So anyway, like I said, I'm retired. But anyway, you want to cut it. Y'all better stop fucking with these Saudis, bro. Like, for real. Like, you guys playing with the big boys, man. I hope from this last hour conversation that you get a sense that you're really playing with the big guys. No, I'm not a plant. Fanon's a plant. Yeah, I planted my ass right here in my seat. You got that shit right. I'm a plant. No, bro. YouTube mostly what? Porter Pools and Top Rank does have reporters on pay. Of course they do. But that's not how it works. Dude, you don't think them dudes gamble too? You know what interesting? You know what would be interesting? To look at the gambling patterns of journalists. Look at the gambling politics. Gambling politics. Boxing. The trifecta. Politics. That's how you guys get away with everything you do. Politics is how you get away with the shit you do. That's why boxing's legal. McCain saved boxing. Muhammad Ali Act is there to cease demands from boxing to be made illegal because of all the fixed fights. Because Vegas doesn't want to give the money back when a bet goes back. You know how many times people have asked me, do I get my money back when somebody pops dirty? The answer is no, you do not. Behind the scenes, though, people want their money back. So Vegas, no, you normal people don't get your money back. The high rollers get their money back. You don't get your money back. They get their money back. And they're going to get their money back. Because if they don't get their money back, bro, there ain't going to be no boxing in the United States. Because you can't rip off Vladimir Putin in a bet. That's a national security risk. Let me repeat. Ripping off Vladimir Putin or another world leader in a bet is a national security threat. It absolutely is. You are taunting the representative of a foreign nation. When you cheat. Remember that when you pad your gloves. That somebody might have put $50 million down on that fight you padded your gloves for. So why it gets you a championship, it beats that man out of $50 million. Do you think that man is going to sit there when you take $50 million out of his pocket and he finds out that you had some loaded gloves just because some local politician put some commission people in there that you were able to slip some shit by? Because those inspectors are state officials appointed by that commission. That commission gets his money from those boxers and those promoters and those fights that are brought to Vegas and those high rollers. The high rollers get their money back. The average Joe doesn't get their money back. But you, the boxer that loaded your gloves, participated in it. You did. You participated in it because he waved a little money in your fucking face. Think about it. And I mean, I want you to practically think about this. You're a journalist and you bet on a fight. You pushed for that fight to be made with all your might, all your connections. You pushed for that fight to get made in the public, created a demand, and then you bet on it. And that fight winds up being fixed. You're in it just like that boxer is. I'm telling you, RICO, because they will demand an investigation. Why you think people know about the gloves? Why you think they got these people testifying about what on YouTube or what about Tyson Fury having egg weights in his gloves in a sparring match? Well, I wonder why he has egg weights in his gloves in a sparring match. Seeing his people gamble on sparring matches. Once again, gambling,
working and
sparring matches, which is illegal.
They got back to work and Tank
This whole
got a little bit more
dog fight that you're seeing.
Fatigue.
This right here is an illegal.
They have got off, but
fight.
get off a little bit, but it went.
And they're betting 20,000 on that. Again, how much money do you think them big boys are fighting on the dog shows that they're actually putting on? They can pay through their corporations. They absolutely can. They can say, hey, Amazon, Jeff Bezos can say, I love boxing. PBC, put them on my show. We'll air your fights. Thanks, man. Okay, give them the contract. No, he had the man accused him of egg weights in the glove, and he's pissed off. Why would there be egg weights in the gloves for a sparring match when you're betting on sparring? I'm telling you guys, you better get on the right side of this. Call your local congressman and fess up. What up, Richard Paris? Call your local congressman and fess up. Say, I got a crime I'd like to report before they knock on your door. Anyway, man, like I said, boxing is probably not going to be legal in the United States if this keeps going. It's probably not going to be legal in the United States. And it would be like one of the saddest things ever. Because you guys don't see the ramifications of your actions. You're playing with people's money. If you flopping like Martin Bacoli flopped, Martin Bacoli took a flop. I don't care what you said. I don't care what you say. That looked like a flop. That man can't take a punch to the top of his head right here. I wonder who put money on the second round knockout or the under. Martin Bacoli wasn't a flop. Okay. He got clipped all right on the back of the head. Do. Anyway, okay. I could be wrong. It looked like a flop to me. I ain't gonna lie. It looked like a flop to me. It looked like a good flop, a clean punch, and a flop. I didn't. I saw the highlight. To Orlando, I saw the highlight. I to Orlando. I didn't pay for that fight. I don't want y'all get confusing my money with any of their money. I didn't put no money on that fight. Just for the public record. I didn't put no money on that fight, and I didn't buy that fight. And I don't even have DAZN. I'm not even subscribed to DAZN anymore. And I don't think I'm going to go subscribe to DAZN. No joke. It's a real quandary for me, man. I'm seriously, man. I don't, Fire Stick Gang. I think I'm going to join Fire Stick Gang, bro. I can't lie. That was an equilibrium shot. Man, the very first time, bro, I don't even know who you are, bro. So you're out of here. I already told you, it looked like a flop to me. It looked like a clean punch and a flop. And I've never seen you before, buddy, so beat it. You can say it's not a flop. It looked like a flop to me. So in my eyes, you got a flop, which is a fixed fight. You got Turki Alalshiek telling somebody what the score is in the middle of the fight, which is a fixed fight. And I don't like how Floyd Schofield got sick to the point of near death in Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry. That doesn't seem like a good weekend of boxing to me. You guys want to talk about what a great weekend of boxing. No, it was a terrible week of boxing. You just had the dude that put on a fight on camera, and somebody said the boy was sick too. I didn't know. If the boy was sick too, add that to another one. I did the video where people are suspecting that Errol Spence had COVID. That one I could be wrong about. But because I don't have the medical records, this is just somebody telling me they suspect COVID. They suspect COVID, a variation of COVID. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Joseph Parker, baby. Hell yeah, I rocks with Joseph Parker, though. Bro, look, man. Vaccines are a little bit of the disease. Yes, so COVID is still around. COVID, they can give it to you in a vaccine, bro. They can give it. You ever read the book Guns, Germs, and Steel? Guns, Germs, and Steel. Allegedly. Thank you, T. Orlando. Allegedly. And all of this stuff is allegedly. I can't say that I know this for sure, so you can take all this with a grain of salt. You can take it all with a grain of salt. No joke. Take it all with a grain of salt. I didn't get to see Ajit Cabal. Both Dubois and Schofield got sick. That was too much of a coincidence for me. Exactly. I'm telling you, man, you got multiple people in the United States that complained about getting doped in a fight. Multiple people. Multiple reports of people getting doped in fights. By the way, reports given by your favorite bullshitter. Put the reports out themselves about the same promotional company that was involved with this fight. Man, let me tell you something, Porter. I ain't trusting none of you dudes. You guys lie like rugs. Okay? Let's just be honest. You guys inundate chats with bots. Bots with opinions. That costs money. That costs money to do. That costs money to do. You guys are so make up so much shit and most ludicrous contradictory opinions. Ludicrous ones. It's propaganda. Paid propaganda. Paid propaganda. Because you know what they call PR when it involves different nations? They call it propaganda. You know what it's called when it's a government official that admits disseminating fake information? It's called propaganda. Do you know that Turki Alalshiek admitted to disseminating false information? And he is a Saudi government official. He admitted, a Saudi government official, to purposely putting out disinformation to U.S. press about a cultural sports event. And admitting lying. He admitted it's propaganda. And he admitted to it. And he also got caught fixing a fight. Stop. No, when he admitted it, he said that he had put out information about Canelo Alvarez fighting Jake Paul or something like that, and he was not telling the truth, and that he was eventually going to tell the truth. Some shit like that, he said. Some shit like that, he said. What'd you say, Turkey? Nigga, what you say? I should go to your fight, bro. I should go sit my ass down at your next fight, bro. I really should. But I'm not. I'm not giving you my money. That's why I don't gamble on boxing. King always coming over here trying to bet me on something. The number one turkey plant, King, trying to bet me all the time. All scripted and entertainment. That's why I don't bet. Exactly. Oh, here's the link too. Kamal Oz said, and I owe you your videos. I owe you your videos. I owe you your videos, Kamal. Turkey admitted to finessing corporate media, much of which he owns. He owns an American media outlet. Here's the link for you guys to tell me how that wasn't fixing a fight. Anyway. But look, I'm telling you guys better be careful. That's all I'm saying, man. Be careful, man. Be careful. These street dudes ain't nothing, man. Like, let me tell you something, man. Just for real, just for real. These street dudes are nothing. These little petty criminals running around in your faces, trying to act like they got something going on, bro, they are nothing. When I'm telling you they're nothing, I mean, blow them away, they're nothing. Nothing. So don't let these boys sucker you into participating in a goddamn gambling cheat move that costs a lot of money. But again, when you're betting $50 million on it, it's worth spending $5-6 million to win 50, isn't it? Isn't it? Think. If you want to make some money on some gambling, what do? You bet a lot of money, so you make a lot of money. Exactly. Pay 10. No. Pay 10 in actual money. Promise 100 in cryptocurrency. No, you pay 10, you promise 100. Because remember, they're going to pay in viable financial options or viable financial, what do you call it? Financial tools? What do you call it? A financial, I'm catching instruments. Viable financial instruments. So he's promising you money on the back end. Right? Instruments. But you're betting, and I don't know if he bet the money or not. I don't. Again, I'm just telling you what people are telling me. You are scary. You can't even go to New York to watch that Tank Roach fight. Let me tell you, Canfield Collins. My son went to college in New York, and my son went to college in New York City. I just went to New York City on Broadway and watched a Broadway play not too long ago. I'm going to be in New York visiting a friend probably within the next 3 or 4 months. Just talked to him yesterday about going to New York. I've spent a lot of time in New York. I got a lot of family in New York. My family are from Philadelphia. I have no problems going to New York City. You better believe it. I will walk anywhere I want in New York City and not have a single solitary problem in New York City. You're tripping. But anyway, I'd buy crypto. I'd take is, oh, I don't know. You tell me. What? Man, goodbye, dude. With your little goodbye, Isaiah Bird. I'm not interested in it, bro. Stable coins. Okay. Look, I don't know why he backed out. Kid Austin, it seemed like he got sick. I'll take him at his word that he got sick. Man, let me tell you something, man. Like I said, your little petty bullies don't bother me, man. You know what I mean? You petty bullies don't bother me. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I love my people, but you little petty criminals do not bother me. Any bit, not at all, bro. You're so low down on the total. You're so low down the totem pole that it's really a waste of my time to talk to you. So I'm not really worried about you. So you can stop stressing yourself. You can stop stressing yourself. You're a bunch of petty criminals and you don't bother me at all. That's all I can say. You're a bunch of petty criminals. You don't bother me at all. Trust me. What do you say? Oh, I got a link for hate. Here you go. Phenomenal. I need a break too. People trying to bully me. I'm trying to tell you, these little internet thugs man, dude, look, go away, bro. That was a hell of a live today for 9. I hit the cash. Oh, thank you, CG. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. This is the last little bit of hate. I got to get my guy Hater up here. No, for real, you little bullies don't bother me, bro. Mwah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mike Tyson. Yeah, for sure, Mike. You right, Mike. Mike Tyson says, stop talking about brother, waste of time. You right, bro. I'm done. Phoenix. What up, man?
Hey, what's good, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling, man?
Doing pretty well. You know, I had to come with the hate.
Though. Hey, great coincidences, man. I believe in coincidences. So Mike, somebody who was fakely representing Mike Tyson. I got the Mike Tyson vape in my pocket too. Just so you know, I keep Black Mike Tyson in my pocket. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Yeah, man. So Shakur. Ooh, wee. But first I'll say this fight card was not the fight card of the century. Imagine they started with a 25,000 seat arena, moved to a 6,000 seat arena. Imagine that. And it took 3 promoters. They had Frank Warren, they had Oscar De La Hoya, they had Top Rank. Oh, wait, 4, because they had Eddie Hearn too. 4 promoters to put on a show. And all they could imagine was a 6,000 seat stadium. That means nobody wanted to see that shit. Nobody wanted to see that. And I know if it was Tank, people would say PBC is running out of money. They having money issues with the venue, so they had to go ahead and get this small one because they decided that they didn't want to host the fight anymore and told PBC to kick rocks. You know,
Phoenix. Hey, Phoenix. Yeah. I'll be back in like 5. Is that cool?
Oh yeah, that's cool because I got a lot. All
right, man. Keep cooking, bro. It's your segment.
All right. So yeah, man, like I couldn't imagine naming a card the fight card of the century and then having to go down to 1/3 of the size, no, 1/4 of the size of what the arena is, just for the fight to take place. You had 2 people who ended up not being able to be on that card, and then you had fights where the decisions was looking funny, and the only fight the people even cared about on the card was the main event. Like, damn, like you figure if it's gonna be called the fight card of the century. The fight card of the century, they would have the arena packed, and they would have a second arena with a 4-screen cube jumbotron with the fight hall, so people would go to that arena and watch it on the screen. If it was really the fight of the century, they called it the last crescendo. Crescendo is like that high point, you know, the peak, right? And it was just all downhill from there. That's why they called it that. because everything went downhill after it hit that high point. The hype wasn't even there for the fight. And man, I tell you, I don't want to hear another Shakur Stevenson fan say that he ready for Tank Davis. Matter of fact, I want them to fight next. Forget Zepeda. Let Tank go ahead and just knock the hell up out Shakur so Shakur don't come back no more. Send him to the same place Devin Haney is at in mediocrity. Because man, they had an electrician, man. An electrician. I tell you something. My dad is 70. He's been watching boxing a long time. His favorite fighters, Hector Camacho, Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. He's seen the highlights of the Shakur Stevenson fight and said that if Tank go ahead and fight that boy, it's going to be a massacre. That's what's going to happen. He said Tank going to massacre that dude. And it's true. Like, goodness, my goodness. This dude said that he was going to beat ass and he got a stoppage from Temu. I never seen something like that before. How you get a Temu stoppage, man? Like that first knockdown was suspect. And man, speaking of fixing fights, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, because word is they said Turkey was giving that man a house to come and fight because he knew that he had to use his PTO just to take off to go to the ring and get in there for the fight. They said Turkey was giving that man a house. I bet it got to a certain point and it's like, hey man, it's round 9. What you doing? What you doing? If you last too much longer, you're gonna take the house back. You can't do this, man. You're an electrician. You can't make Shakur look bad. Go ahead and take that knee. Like I think he actually looked up at the screen, seen the time in the round, said, "Oh, damn, I should have been knocked down 2 rounds ago for the first one. Let me go ahead and get all 3 in right quick." So you see how quick he got up and walked right back to his corner after the 10 count was done, or not the 10 count, but after his corner threw the towel in, walking back like everything was all good. He was in better shape than Ryan Garcia was, and they said Ryan Garcia quit against Tank. You see how long it took Ryan to get up? Ryan at least had a bloody nose. Padley didn't have nothing. Nothing. Shakur had a busted hand. And y'all telling me with the way that this fight went, people is hype about this knockout too. They hype. Man, I was listening to Shakur saying he's going to beat dude's ass right there. And I expected him to go in and do what Mayweather did to Gotti. That's what I wanted to see. And I'll give Shakur props because he did plant his feet and try to throw a little bit. But man, he was putting all his strength into it and hurt himself more than he hurt Padley. Like, damn, man. Damn, you got to do this an electrician. He couldn't even add no buzz to the fight. Like, shit. I don't know what to say about that, man. So what I'm saying right now is forget Zepeda. Because I know Oscar probably looking at that like, nah, we ain't about to have to worry about Shakur busting his hand again, have to worry about postponing the fight. So now we ain't gonna do Zepeda. And I already know Eddie Hearn and Shakur, the way they talking, they pretty much sounded like they damn near pricing themselves out by making unreasonable demands. You heard Eddie Hearn talking about, yeah, we need to be treated with respect. And Shakur's like, no, I'm not just gonna take anything. It's like, man, with the way that you just came out and you didn't dismantle the electrician, you didn't cut his power, you didn't turn his lights off, you didn't do none of that. None of that. The dude walked up. He's like, man, I even get to come back home a few hours early. They didn't even have to do like the post fight conference or nothing. He's like, man, I'm going home a few hours early. I don't have to use as much PTO as I thought. I'm gonna go back to changing these lights. And Shakur out there apologizing for his win still. Like, damn, man. Damn. How you letting an electrician last 9 rounds? I can understand Mayweather and McGregor because McGregor outweighed him by 50 pounds. But damn, man, this dude an electrician. Another thing, I don't want to hear nobody talking about Tank weight draining people again. Did you know Padley has fought his entire career except for one fight in 2023 at 140? His entire career, he's been at 140 except for one fight in 2023. People talking about Tank weight draining people. He weight drained an electrician and still couldn't beat his ass. How about that? People want to talk about Pitbull being a bad fight for Tank, and Pitbull was a replacement. Keep that same energy here. This was a replacement. A dude with a 26.67% knockout rate. That's what it took for Shakur to be able to plant his feet and try to trade shots You know damn well he ain't about to stand there like that with nobody else. Shakur's best performance, his most aggressive fight at 135 so far, has been an electrician.
Hey,
Think about
Phoenix,
that.
don't forget the part where
Yeah.
he didn't have a training camp.
Yeah, he didn't have a training camp. They had that man on the job. He had just finished putting the light in somebody's garage. They said, "Hey, man, you about to go to Saudi?" They got it on video. He had just
He
finished
got the
replacing the
call.
light in somebody. Yeah. He said, "Hey, man, we going." Oh shit. He said, "Hey, boss, I need to put that PTO in for the rest of the week. Now I'm about to go to Saudi Arabia." And then he called his wife and kids. Hey, they said they're giving us a new house, babe. So we good. We don't got to pay the mortgage no more or the rent wherever they was living. But shit, like, come on, man. Like, what type of
Crazy.
nonsense is this? And the fact that his fans is hype about it, nah,
The fact that
nah. I'm not
Shakur is
gonna be
talking
hype about that.
but the fact that Shakur is on Twitter probably right now talking about he can beat anybody. He can beat anybody off of that performance is the most ridiculous,
Man,
bro, ever
hell
heard.
no,
What are they putting in this
hell
man?
no,
What are they putting in snack? Because it's got to be what he's taking in snack. Because he's literally on
man. They took the Bill Haney formula, reproduced it, and added some extra and gave that shit to Shakur because he tripping. I don't know how you look at that and talk about he can beat anybody. Hell the fuck no.
He's the
Hell
best
no.
at hitting and not getting hit, but got triple
No, he
combo
not.
by an electrician. Triple combo by an electrician, but he can't get hit. I don't want to hit that man.
And, and couldn't cut the ring off either. He was still following dude around the ring. And then at times, Padley flipped him and had him on the ropes and would man, imagine if Padley is doing that, if Padley is doing that without no training camp and weight drain, this is only his second time at 135. Imagine somebody who's in shape with a full training camp like Tank. Shoot, Padley was able to counter Shakur at times. The electrician, he was
Yeah,
countering Shakur. He said,
right.
nah, nah, nah. You must got your wires crossed, buddy. Let me straighten that out. Man, if he's countering Shakur, y'all don't think Tank's going to? This is why boxing fans, man, I tell you, it's the same people who looked at Canelo's performance against Austin Trout and they're like, yeah, Austin Trout's a slick black fighter, and look what Canelo did to him and dropped him too. He's ready for Floyd. Hell the fuck no. Hell no. Is
Not even
Austin
close.
Trout as accurate as Floyd? Is Austin Trout's defense as good as Floyd? Is his timing, his ability to adjust? You got to look at these types of things. And we looking at Padley, man, of the champions at 135, like looking at their resume at 135, because that's where they are right now. Forget 126, forget 130. At 135 right now, Shakur and his buddy Keyshawn got the worst resumes of the four champions right there.
For sure.
Lomachenko definitely got the better resume. Tank got a better resume. And
That
man,
last
like
Keyshawn fought, I don't even know who they. That was obviously a gifted belt he had.
exactly. I mean, shit, man. Tank could have fought Padley and the dude Keyshawn fought on the same night, back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Tank could have fought both of them back to back.
Knocked them both out in under 6 rounds.
Exactly. Maybe knock them out 2 rounds each. Cause man, because Keyshawn ain't really got power. He don't. Like that dude Brennan chick.
Yeah, the way he was fighting that dude too, Tank would have easily caught him and put him to sleep.
Oh yeah, that dude would have been gone. Like man, these guys be talking. Even Lomachenko probably would have stopped dude because you see what Lomachenko did to Kambosos.
Oh yeah,
And that's the crazy thing. The crazy thing about Lomachenko and Kambosos was, y'all remember how Shakur Stevenson had that record for like the least punches landed on him by an opponent in a 12-round fight. So it was a 12-round fight. Yeah, Lomachenko got the stoppage, but he tied that record. He tied that record standing in front of Kambosos. He wasn't jumping halfway across the ring. He stood in front of Kambosos, made him miss right in his face, and knocked him out. And tied that same record by limiting the punches Kambosos was able to land. That's where you see that there's a difference in these skill levels, man. Like shoot,
Gotcha.
Shakur. Man, he done hurt himself more than Padley. So you know his hands hurt. And you know he ain't letting them rest because he out there tweeting. He ain't gonna be in no condition to fight Tank. Like if he gonna fight Tank, what he need to do, get his hands checked, rest throughout the summer, and then they come back and fall and have that fight. That's what they got to do. Have that fight either late summer or fall. Because looking at the landscape of things, I don't think Eddie Hearn's going to be able to deliver a Zepeda fight. Zepeda's fighting Kevin Farmer in a rematch on March 29th. You know, the end of March. I mean, yeah, they probably could still work something out, but you know how Shakur be. You know, Shakur is, oh, I don't want to sit around wait, even though it's not really that long to wait. And you know, since there's speculation that he hurt his hand in this fight, his left hand, maybe he needs some time to heal, come back, and that would still be enough time for them to work something out. But I don't think Oscar's going to be up for it. I really don't, because looking at Shakur having to have surgery, that pushed his first fight, which was originally going to be Joe Cordina. Originally going to be Joe Cordina, who was coming up from getting knocked out at 130 by a dude with a knockout rate almost as bad as Padley's. The dude who knocked Cordina out had like a 34% knockout rate. So that was something that would have been perfect for Shakur to go ahead and try to get a stoppage in. Same thing with Padley, except you know Padley that gives Shakur a knockout against an undefeated fighter. So I guess there's that. You know, pad his record with Padley. That's what they do. You know, because that wasn't going to happen with Kid Austin. Kid Austin wasn't going to go down from them shits. You know how Kid Austin fight? He fight kind of like Sean Porter, not as good as Sean Porter, but it's a similar style. And he would have been all over him. Like if he know that Shakur's hand was hurt, he was going to make Shakur work for that. And you see, Shakur had to switch stances and try to load up with his right hand to go ahead and do some damage. Man, I was surprised he didn't break that hand too, because that's the one that he had hurt with the baby punch that needed surgery. So I mean, like, man, I don't know what Shakur gonna be throwing at people to keep them off him if they actually skilled. They can actually fight back a little more. And Padley did put up a good fight.
He did. And you know what's crazy to me? It makes sense to me how Floyd injured his hands, because he was actually knocking people out at the division where Shakur is fighting right now. He was literally.
Oh, there was another thing to that too. Sorry to cut in, because he was wrapping his hands wrong because he was doing it himself. But that was another thing that messed up Floyd's hands.
Well, that makes sense on top of the fact that he was knocking people out. But Shakur don't get knockouts, and he's hurting his hands. So I'm curious as to why is he hurting his hands? Because he's not hitting that hard. But they did do that. What is it? That pressure test.
That grip strength. That grip strength. Yes. So he got the grip strength of an adolescent boy. That's what it is.
So he's not punching correctly. Is that right?
Yeah, because you know, if you don't close your fist all the way to make sure it's compact and you throw a punch, you're gonna break something. You're gonna break something. Like if you put force behind that and your fist ain't closed the right way, you're gonna break something. So like that's what it is. So he got that baby strength. He got they said like about a 17-year-old boy. That's what Abdullah Mason's age. You know, Abdullah Mason got a stronger grip than that. Man, sure, I bet.
I think Carmel got a stronger grip than that. Carmel Moulton, for sure.
It do. Now you remember the I don't know if you remember that one nickname they had for Fannie Willis. That's a stronger grip than Shakur's. I'll tell you that. But nah, man, like, Shakur ain't doing it. He ain't the one. He keeps talking about I'm him. I'm that guy. You know, that guy to do what? Huh? Do what, man?
And go 9 rounds.
That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. And I noticed that at least I don't think I've seen any Shakur fans in the chat today. I think they're over there trying to figure out, man, is this as bad as Devin or is it worse than Devin? Which one is it? Because if it's worse than Devin, we can't talk shit. So we need to hurry up and see what happened in May and hope that Devin look worse than Shakur did over the weekend so we could talk again. That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
and man,
more and more like a setup with Schofield not actually being in that fight, because I mean, just looking at his sparring footage, his training, that would have been easy. I don't want to say it would be easy work, but that would have been a dangerous fight for Shakur, especially with his hands hurt and injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then definitely. I know that on the fight with Padley, when I noticed when Shakur was wincing up, like he made these ugly faces he was making because his hand hurt. He was trying to hide it from Padley. I noticed every time Padley looked up, he was trying to fake like he was trying to straighten his face up because he didn't want him to know that he was hurting. Because if Padley probably would have knew that, he would have been coming after him even harder. Because every time he did get a few shots, Shakur landed a few shots on him, Padley would come back. So I was just like, it's just crazy for somebody who don't get hit to get pieced up 4 or 5 punches in a row. I mean, it wasn't just landing 1 or 2 punches. He was throwing combinations and was getting off on Shakur. So I'm just like, where is this hit and not get hit Shakur at? Because I don't see him in this fight.
Well, the problem was he couldn't do that in this fight because imagine if he did that against an electrician. Be like, damn, he ran from the power man. He was afraid to get his.
But that's the point. It's like the reason why Shakur don't get hit is because he's running from fighters, not actually slipping and rolling punches and stuff like that. Like Floyd does. Because, like, for example, if you look at how Floyd did it in front of Canelo, I mean, literally, Floyd was 1 foot away from him, standing toe to toe with this.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Slipping, dodging, he's blocking, he's missing all these punches. Meanwhile, he is literally standing right in front of him. Well, for Shakur, he actually has to move out of the way. He has to move 4 or 5 feet away from the fighter to not get hit. That's not the same thing.
And that's why I never put Shakur up there with Floyd because of that. That's why I say that his defense ain't complete. Because you see how the way it was when Floyd be getting like on the ropes, he's doing that shoulder roll, and he's still countering with shots in between. You see when that happened to Shakur in this fight, he wasn't doing that. He waited for Padley to stop throwing punches. And that's the thing, like, this was a fight where Shakur couldn't afford, even if it was still Floyd Schofield that was fighting him, Shakur could not afford to go in there and do what he did his last 2 fights. And he knows it because it's going to affect his market value and whether or not people want to see him fight. Because, otherwise it might be worse. He wasn't even the co-main event. Man, next time he going to be on the prelims and the untelevised fights if he don't start, turn the heads and shit. And especially with this stand-in, because I thought this could have gone wrong for Shakur for 2 reasons. One, if he end up not standing in front of a dude with such a low KO rate, sitting at just under 27%. Or two, if Padley ended up being a lot better than expected. Because you see, the way that he beat Chamberlain was he'd come in, land a combo, and then clinch before Chamberlain could react to it. And I was like, shoot, if he do that to Shakur, combined with the fact that he moves, and like you seen Shakur still couldn't really cut the ring off on him. Like there was a point in round 7 or 8 where Padley circled around the ring twice, and Shakur was just standing there in the middle, spinning around. He didn't cut the ring off on him. And so it's things like that where after Haratunya, Shakur is like, I need to work on cutting off the ring. And, he moved too much. He was clinching a lot. I'm like, well, shit, that's kind of like Padley's style. So if Padley sticks to that, knowing Shakur just had that trouble in his last fight, that could be bad for him. It could be. And then at the same time, like I said, if he ended up not standing there to go ahead and try to get this dude out of there, that would be bad too, because just the fact that the dude didn't have a training camp, he's not even a full-time boxer. He coming in on short notice. He just got off the flight and had to get in there for the weigh-in. So it's like, hey, all the conditions set up for Shakur to have a dominant performance. Same way it was with Joe Cordina. That was another one where it was set up for Shakur to have a dominant performance had that fight gone through. So, it's kind of sad that, his first couple title defenses, that's what they is, right? Like, shoot, the fact that Padley was even ranked, he was ranked at 12 at 135, even though he ain't fought at 135 since 2023. All his other fights throughout his other 14 fights of the 15 he had was at 140. And so, like, the fact that they had him ranked at 135, and on top of that, ranked 1 spot above Floyd Schofield, because he's 12 and Schofield was ranked 13 at 135 for the WBC, right? Yeah, so it's things like that.
Me.
Say what?
So it sounds like an embellishment. Like they fixed that up so that when we go back to look at the statistics or the analytics, that will look good on Shakur part, because that doesn't really make much sense to me.
Yeah, but even then, we still got to keep that same energy. So, if stand-ins was bad for Tank, Like with Pitbull, who was actually ranked like 2 or 3, and we got to say it's bad for Shakur when his standing was ranked number 12 and only been at the weight class once and was weight drained and was an electrician and got no punching power. So yeah, we got to go ahead and keep that same energy. We're gonna call it bad for one guy. We're gonna call it bad for another guy. That's the way that we do it. That's the way that we do it because we got to treat everyone equally, and that's the point that people don't get.
And I mean, to me, it looked. I don't know about you, Finis, but didn't he look a lot smaller than Shakur in the ring? I mean, he looked like
Oh
he like a smaller guy than Shakur too.
yeah, because you see that's the thing. That's why he boxing because with his other job he probably ain't been eating. So he had to he out there fixing up lights all day and stuff until Turkey came around. That Turkey money. Hey, you want a new house? You want some money? Hey, go ahead and put on this performance, but don't look too good. Make sure you don't make it 12 rounds. As long as you don't make it 12 rounds, it helps your career save things. And that's the way that it was. I sincerely feel that way. I mean, like, it's unlikely, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Just because, I mean, like, shoot, like, what are they gonna do with Shakur? Like, he's at a point right now, like I said before the fight. I've been saying it for a while. Him and Devin is in the same spot, kind of, because they spent so much time trying to build their name off Tank's name that they can't afford to have a bad performance or loss before fighting Tank. And even then, they can't afford to just go ahead and get blasted and knocked the hell out by Tank either, because after that, where do they go? How do they market themselves when they spent so much time building it up off Tank's name? Like, where do they go from there? Because nobody's going to care about. That's the only reason people care about seeing them fight, is because these two guys could probably beat Tank Davis. Shakur saying Tank been scared of him, and Devin beat him up in sparring. Like, after all this, like, this is what I've been saying to people. Who can you look at that Shakur has fought at 135 that comes close to Tank? And then you look at who Tank's fought at 135. He's fought more people at 135 that would help him better prepare for Shakur than Shakur has for him. Because Ryan Garcia, ain't nobody else at 135 got hands that fast except maybe Tank. Nobody.
Did you see Rolly's interview on Fight Hype?
Yeah, he said that Tank shouldn't even waste his time with Shakur. I think Rolly beat Shakur too.
Oh, definitely. He was like, Shakur was jumping around like a grasshopper when he was fighting Edwin De Los Santos. What do you think he's going to do with Tank? He probably jump out the ring.
Yeah. Yep. Like, man, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be like dude who fought F.A. Jagba, got out soon as the first bell rang and walked back up to the dressing room. And then the Jagba got the world record for the fastest victory in boxing because of that. Because the dude like that, I wouldn't be surprised, because like that's the only way for Shakur to not get hit. If he can't box a perfect fight against an electrician, I don't know why people's going to expect him to be able to box a perfect fight against Tank. He was getting touched by Padley. He's going to get touched by Tank. It's that simple. Like I keep telling people, like, if you're struggling with basic arithmetic, you're not going to go ahead and ace calculus. It's just not going to happen. You're not. And people keep on thinking that way. If you struggle to spell the word I as in me, just one letter. You struggle to spell that shit. Now you're not going to spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's just not going to happen. It's not. So that's the thing. Like, Shakur is struggling with these lesser opponents, and somehow people think in the head that makes it likely that he's going to go ahead and all of a sudden pull out something we never seen before. Man, this was a perfect opportunity for him to show something we never seen before against a guy who had no tools to fight back with because he couldn't bring his electrician kid up in the ring. He had no tools. So Shakur could have gone in there and done whatever the hell he wanted and still couldn't even do that.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
I think it's pretty, obvious looking at the fight that Shakur has a lot to work on. You talking about Tank, somebody who knows how to fight a different fight every fight that he's fought. He definitely knows how to cut off the ring. He knows how to wear you down. Like he did that with Frank. Like you literally watched him stop this man the entire fight, cut the ring off, and knock him out. That's gonna be super easy for Tank to do against Shakur. Honestly,
and on top of that, the setup too.
Yeah, he's definitely going to set him up because he already knows how he fights. He already know how he fights. And what's crazier to me is Sean Porter. I actually don't understand this man. Either he's got some type of something, you know what I mean? Because the fact that he said right after that fight, which with Padley Shakur, is that he's ready to see him fight Tank. I'm just like, do you want to see this man die in the ring? Because there's no way that Shakur is ready for Tank. There's no way Shakur is ready for Tank. If you watch that fight, you would know he's not ready for Tank. It took him 9. First of all, Padley wanted to still fight. His corner had to throw in the towel. It wasn't that he did not want to keep fighting. That he did. He got back up before the 10 count on the 3rd knockdown.
Exactly. That was that Temu stoppage. The shit was fake.
Yeah, they was like, no, he's getting up too many times. Just call it. He's determined. Like the man did.
And it was body shots.
Yeah, I know. And he did not want to see. He still got up. He still got
exactly. Up. And on top of that, like, shoot, the fact that he was still getting up and looked in relatively good shape, not having a full training camp. That in training camp, they're gonna work the core. Yeah. Like at our gym, they had this thing like the coach would go ahead, like he'll have you lay on the ground, and like you got your legs raised, you got your arms raised, but then like you got to kind of like hold them, and he's gonna like hit you in the stomach with a medicine ball, or he'll have you go ahead and hang like from the pull-up bar. And what we'll do is like you'll hang there, and then you got to lift your legs up, put them parallel to the ground, and then he'll go ahead and hit you in the stomach, kind of like you would punching bag. So we'll do that. Like he's not going to go all out on you, but he'll go ahead and like get that. So you working on your core while keeping it activated, so you can take them punches and shit. Like the fact that Padley is still getting up from them things, like that says something.
Had some training going on. That fight would have went the distance for sure. That fight would have went the distance.
Oh yeah.
And
honestly, and I think
I want to see Shakur fight Tank. Like I honestly want to see them fight, just because I'm tired of people talking about him being able to beat him. Yeah, we ready to see the fight because we're tired of hearing about it. Let's see them fight so Tank can get him out the way and we can move on to the next one, because I'm tired of hearing about Shakur thinking he could beat him. I'm tired of the delusions that's being spread everywhere about Shakur. It's time to end the hype, just like Ryan had to end the hype for Devin. It's time for it to end, bro. It's time for it to end.
Yeah, this is one of the things we talked about a few months ago, Lamar, and I don't know if you remember. We was talking about how letting the fight marinate for too long can be bad for it. We talked about that, like in regards to Anthony Joshua and Wilder. It's the same thing here with Tank and with Shakur, because like in order for that marination process to work, like both dudes gonna have to be on top of their game, and both of them gonna be having to fight people that's actually gonna make it seem like, oh yeah, they being business. Like looking at Beterbiev and Bivol, that was a great fight. It's just as good as the first one. And Bivol made the adjustment of planting his feet more and countering back more versus moving around as much as he was and countering on the move. He planted his feet more and then actually fought through the end of the fight, versus taking his foot off the gas like he did in the first one. And I think that's what probably turned the decision. And it was a fight that could have gone either way. Like it really was a fight that could have gone either way, just like the first one. So like it has to be.
Hurt a couple times in that fight, and I was surprised Beterbiev didn't go harder on him. I was like, to me, he was like taking it easy or something like that. I was surprised at his work ethic in the fight. I mean, I guess maybe the adjustments affected his output, but Beterbiev definitely.
Well, you see Beterbiev's face after it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Bivol got that get back.
Yeah, but to me, it looked like he could have did more. He literally hurt Bivol to the point where I thought he was going to go down a couple of times. So
it could have been the body shots, because Bivol was landing some pretty good ones, and then at the same time, that jab. Bivol has one of the best jabs in boxing right now. Like he was using that thing, as a counter, everything.
Yeah, he's actually bigger than Beterbiev, so you know what I mean. Like he was catching them with them jabs for sure. I was expecting more from Beterbiev, but so what you think they're gonna do? A third trilogy, or they gonna move on to Benavidez?
Well, it depends. I mean, they could, but like the thing is, Benavidez is WBC mandatory at 175. So unless the WBC is going to go ahead and say, okay, we'll let them go ahead and get their third fight in. Then at the same time, you got to worry about the IBF, because you know how they are about that 9 months. They hold firm on that, except with Lomachenko, who they gave some medical exemption to. despite the fact that, it's coming up on a year, almost, I think it's what, 10 months? Has it been like 8, 9 months since he fought Cambosis? I don't know. They got like an IBF mandatory lined up at 135, but they granted him a medical exemption, so I don't know what's going to go ahead and go on with that. But
You talking about Lomachenko?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So like with that, I don't know. It wouldn't be for undisputed if Bivol and Beterbiev fought again. I don't think. And then we also got to see how Bivol feels. Like, okay, they got Benavidez. He definitely wants Bivol because he feels like that could show more of what he's capable of, just because he feels like Bivol is a better technician versus, just come forward like Beterbiev is. So David Benavidez was saying he preferred the Bivol fight just for that, so he could show people like, hey, I can box too. I got that technical mind. I can go ahead and beat a guy like that as well. So
I think he want to fight him more so because of Canelo. I think he wants to prove that he can beat the guy Canelo couldn't beat, and I really think that's why he wants to fight him.
Yep.
And also, I think that Beterbiev, I don't feel like he wants to fight again. The way he sounded after the fight, he sounded like he was disappointed in the decision. He sounded like he didn't want that rematch in the first place. So I don't know if he's gonna be bitter about it and be like, forget about it. He is 40, or like, is he done with boxing? Because I mean, he was undefeated, right? That was his first loss.
Yep. So now
I mean, he don't look like he don't look motivated for a get back, if you ask me. So
yeah, I agree with you on that, because that's one of those things, like, each fighter ain't the same after they lose their O. I mean, Bivol is like, okay, I lost my O. I got to get my revenge and take his. Like, not every fighter is the same after that. One example of a fighter not being the same after that is Devin Haney. So, see what's happening with him. And I don't think Shakur would be. Made it into the ring yet. Yeah, but, we got to bring up relevant examples. That's Turkey's guy, so, we got to roast him.
Yeah.
And
it makes sense why Tank said what he said about him, because we saw
exactly
when Adamas was fighting Shiraz, like, literally they announced that this man was an ambassador for Saudi, right? First, that was the first question mark. Then
they said who was an ambassador for Saudi Arabia?
Shiraz,
he was going to be the first like Saudi champion.
Yeah, but they called him an ambassador when they announced who he was going into the fight. So that's the number one thing that was a question mark. I was like, oh, they're going to give him the fight. Immediately,
they called him an ambassador?
Yes. I could be mistaken, but I'm almost 100% certain that that's what they said.
If that's true. These dudes are some flying crooks.
Bro, I'm telling you. So I was like, when they said that, I was like, oh, nah, he about to get the win. They about to get him this fight. And then as they was fighting, I said, all right, he might got a little something. But as the fight went on, you could tell, the experience for Adamas was just too much for dude.
Hey. Could you I didn't see the fight because I boycotted it, but
I mean, I'm not gonna say how I saw it, but
yeah, Fire Stick.
I ain't use Fire Stick, but
well, question.
Sure.
How much bigger was that other guy than Carlos Adamas?
He had at least about an inch more reach, but he was probably at least like 3-4 inches taller.
Yeah. He was taller.
What's
that dude was a light heavyweight.
Fungora or whatever his name is. Is that his name? The tall, skinny dude who be fighting when he should be fighting at heavyweight or something like that. The 7.
He had to do it at 154.
Yeah, that guy. He's about his height. That's what he looked like in the ring. He might be a little bit shorter than the dude. That's what he looked like. He should be fighting that dude.
Well, that dude was tall as hell.
Yeah, he was tall, and he was still getting pieced up. And it was
because Adamas was walking him down.
Yeah, and at some point in the middle of the fight, you see Turkey because they got him big as day in the camera in the background. You can see him. He stands up in the fight. He's standing there for like a good 5 minutes, like bro's losing. Then you see him walk around to the corner of Shiraz's corner, and later you saw a video of them showing him. He's like, "You're down by 2 points. You're losing by 2 points." I'm like, bro, are you kidding me right now? And
that's a big fight.
I was like, oh, I wanted to throw something at the TV, but I'm like, nah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that was crazy. I was like, this can't be serious. So when Tank sit there and say stuff like, if he come over there, he definitely got to get the knockout. He's absolutely right. He definitely would have to get the knockout because with something like that, you can't trust the judges.
Yeah, my whole thing with that, the first thing I thought of when Tank was saying that, especially because it's about fighting Devin. Look at the last time he did that. It was just him and AB against the whole gym. Him, AB, and what was it, Mike Stafford against the whole gym.
And Floyd
That's
was in
why
the ring helping Devin.
exactly.
He was in the ring helping Devin.
Literally holding his hand like he was grabbing on Tank, holding his arms back, everything like that. Like Tank is talking to people outside the ring. Floyd's encouraging them to throw them kidney punches. Like, man. And then at the same time, he couldn't really like go off the way he wanted to because look what happened when Devin punched him in the back of the head. He went at him immediately.
Hold on a second. Let me get a couple things and let our breezy up for a second. My guy Craig Tillman in the building. Thank you for the $5 holler, man. Thank you so much for the Cash App, brother. Thank you for supporting the cause, keeping the movement going. My guy CG Cap. Much love for the $20 holler, CG Cap. Thank you, bro. And my guy LeVar Aiken said, Martin is so funny how Tank fans are acting just like Haney fans. Nobody in the world can beat him. When Shakur beats him, they disappear over to whose channel? I ain't mentioning that bum ass dude's name. About somebody cheated. He's human. Yeah, I mean he can leave. What's your thoughts on that, MacGyver? I'll let him respond to you. Thank you, LeVar.
I think that this comment is laughable, but let's be clear. No one ever said that Tank was not human. The problem is Shakur does not have the skills. We have yet to see somebody at 135 that has the skills to beat Tank. We just being realistic here, and we're not being delusional. Because if you compare Shakur's skills to Tank, it's obvious that he does not have the skills. Devin does not have the skills to beat Tank. Ryan did not have the skills to beat Tank because we actually saw that fight. We saw what Ryan did to Devin. Shakur couldn't even take out, what's the last guy, Frankfurt, that he dropped that one time? I can't remember. Aratunian. He couldn't even finish that dude when Frank I guess he didn't finish him, but at least he put him to the canvas at least one time.
Yeah, Frank dropped him, I think, in round 11 or 12.
Shakur couldn't even do that. And Shakur finished Frank in the 8th. So we don't want to hear the nonsense, okay? Stop with the crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Breezy, what's on your mind? Our Breezy. You there?
Tank got to fight somebody. He can't. Who we want? That's how he making his money. He got to fight somebody. It's not his fault. Don't nobody got the skills to beat him right now. When we see somebody come up that I'm going to be honest. I'm not sitting here saying Tank is undefeatable, but right now there's nobody in his class, anywhere near his class, that could beat him. And that's a fact. And if you're not crazy, then you could see that.
Exactly. Because the way I look at it is this: look at the 4 champions: Lomachenko, Tank, Shakur, and Keyshawn Davis. Okay, look at Shakur. Who has he fought that you could say is even close to Tank? What? At 135. He's had Yoshino.
A chance is Lomachenko. And Lomachenko is about out of there.
Exactly.
Okay, hey, real quick. We got 3 calls real quick. Our Breezy, what's up, man?
You can hear me now, Fanad?
I can hear you, man.
What's going on, Fanad?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Respect, man. Respect to your platform. You know, shout out to the panel, even though I don't agree with everything, but I respect your platform.
Cool. What's on your mind, bro?
I wanted to say, anybody that's a so-called fan of boxing, right? I don't understand how you could bring up or even think the thought of Tank shouldn't fight Shakur. Like I heard, let me just get it out real quick. I heard the young lady on the platform said, "Did you hear what Rolly said?" He said, "Tank shouldn't even entertain Shakur." Now I feel like that shouldn't even got brought up because who in the lightweight division is bigger than Shakur Stevenson?
Lomachenko.
No, how was Lomachenko? Let me say this thing. Since Lomachenko been out the ring with George Kambosos, even on the time when Lomachenko backed out of the fight with Tank, all these platforms I go on is talking about Shakur Stevenson. They was talking about Shakur when Tank said, "I want Loma next." That is the fight that everybody wants to see. Now we could say we could all pick who we got in the fight, right? You could say I picked Tank because I don't think Shakur do this well, and I picked Shakur for my reasons that I have. But you can't sit up here and create fantasy wins for this guy saying, "Oh, they don't got what it takes." It's only one way to prove that in boxing, and that's by fighting them. all of this fantasy. I just heard somebody say, "Oh, Devin can't beat Tank." Even if we feel like that, Tank ain't fought Devin, so we can't say that. We know Ryan can't beat him because he didn't beat him when they fought. So all of this fantasy stuff and Shakur, oh Shakur went in there with a guy. He didn't even prepare for that guy. He prepared for Floyd Schofield. He hurt himself in the fight, which I'm not using it as an excuse, but he still got the job done. He stopped the guy. He stopped him. Y'all
Okay,
say he
listen.
can't punch.
Okay,
He
so let
stopped the guy.
me ask you a couple questions. Did what's his name? Joseph Parker prepare for Bacole?
No.
Okay, so what happened there? When
It's
Shakur
Joseph.
saying he's the best fighter on the card?
Okay, great question, Phoenix. Is Joseph Parker a heavyweight or a lightweight?
It doesn't matter. We're not talking about the weight. We're talking about the
No, yes, we
preparation
are,
and whether or
because
not that matters. No,
in heavyweight,
because
it
we're
only
talking
take
about
one punch.
preparation. It
No,
doesn't
in
matter if it only
heavyweight,
take one punch
bro, in
because
heavyweight,
we're talking about adjustments.
no, you
Adjustments.
talking about is Joseph Parker, is you comparing those two.
No,
But in
yes,
heavyweight,
because with similar situations.
listen to me,
Joseph
brother,
Park, you're not answering my question.
because it
I
don't make
asked.
sense what you're
That don't
It
saying.
mean it
does
doesn't
make
make sense.
No, it
Listen,
don't, because he's a
here's
heavyweight.
here's why it makes sense
that does
because
make
you're
sense.
talking about whether or not he prepared for a specific fighter. That
Right.
matters. Every fighter has a different style. So if you're going to say that, oh, well, Shakur didn't prepare for this guy. Okay, did Tank prepare for Pitbull then when
How did
Pitbull
he
was a
look in that
stand-in?
fight? How did Tank look versus Pitbull? Did he look great?
He
He
looked
hurt
better
his
than
hand with one
Shakur
hurt
did,
hand.
fighting with one hand. Shoot, matter of fact, he outlanded Pitbull by double in the last round using only his right hand. He didn't throw a single left in round 12. When you go
Pitbull
back and
was
look at the
really
fight,
throwing
I
both
don't,
hands,
I don't
by the
watch, I don't watch that last round on repeat like 5 times to make sure. Like Tank did not throw a single left in round 12 and outlanded Pitbull by double with one hand. So whether he prepared for him or not, he still went out there and did what he's supposed to do. At the same time, who's knocking out Pitbull? Because Pitbull been showing he could take punches from damn near everybody.
way. And he
So
is
so that's the
definitely
thing. Like whether you got time to prepare or not. What matters is if you're gonna say you the best fighter in the world, matter of fact, the best fighter on the card too, and you can't make an adjustment to go ahead and show that against a guy who had no
I'm back for now, and
notice.
I dropped out. I got a phone call. But listen,
That's the
bro,
thing. Like,
that's
yeah.
listen to me. Shakur, no, he's been unified 3 division champion. He's never had a close fight, bro. Never had a
okay,
close
and
fight.
and we talking about
Never,
135.
Hey,
never.
hold on. Hey, Phoenix, let him finish. You kind of
He
crossing
never
the line.
had a close fight. And you guys talk like, all right, Tank is an entertaining athlete, brother. I watch Tank fights. I'm entertained by him. But Tank, in Tank last fight, which I purchased, I can show proof. He did not look excellent in that fight. He was walking Martin backwards, but he was running into a lot of punches. Frank Martin was setting traps against him. Yeah, he got the job done, but he did not look excellent, brother.
Bro.
You can't sit up here like Tank is getting grade A's every fight, and Shakur is just levels below this guy. It's ridiculous to me, bro.
I don't think you know
He
what
is
you're
the.
looking at. That's the
I got a
problem.
counterpoint. I got a counterpoint for that. Here's the thing with that. Tank came in and did that to Frank Martin after what 14 months off. At the same time, for you saying that he don't look great, I don't know what your experience is with boxing as far as whether or not you competed or trained. But here's what Tank did to Frank Martin. He knows that Frank Martin is a mover, so he has to go ahead and walk him down. Frank Martin is a little taller, got a little bit longer reach. Whenever you fighting somebody that's taller than you and got a longer reach, that's what you do. So Tank walked him down. Whenever Frank Martin tried to go to Tank's right, Tank was quick to cut the ring off and force Frank Martin to go to the left. And he did that. When he get Frank Martin to the corner, what he would do is counter or throw a right sweeping right hand towards him. And Frank Martin would move to the left to get out the corner. Eventually, he switched that, threw that right hand, and then threw that left uppercut when Frank Martin was exiting, and that's what caught him. And then he finished him with the straight left.
I
So
seen it, Phoenix.
first he had to lull Frank Martin asleep by letting Frank Martin get comfortable keeping him at bay. Get him to the corner, force him to go to the left so he could walk into that shot, then throw it at the right time to catch him and then put him out of there. So to
All
say
right.
that somebody don't look spectacular when that's a step-by-step
Did.
process they doing, well, okay, who is Shakur fought that can do that?
Who could do what? Tank is one of the only ones. Like, how many boxers got one punch knockout power like Tank in boxing? That's
I'm
not
not talking about
heavyweights.
the one punch. I'm talking
Bro,
about the
that's
setup.
what he did to him. He has one punch stopping power. Shakur is not the same kind of fighter. Why
Okay,
do y'all
so
expect Shakur
so
to
you're
turn
saying
into Deontay Wilder
you're
overnight?
not understanding my question. You're not understanding my question. I'm talking about the setup and the technical aspects, not a one punch knockout thing. And if you can't
They're
understand
different
that and
fighters,
you
bro.
focus,
That's the point. I'm
it
saying they're
doesn't
not the
matter if they
same.
different fighters. We're talking about
Tank,
boxing IQ. We're
no,
talking about
that
making
doesn't have nothing to do,
adjustments.
bro.
Exactly.
Shakur would not approach Frank Martin the same way Tank did because Shakur don't possess the things that Tank possess.
And
They would
because he
not
wouldn't
fight each
approach
other.
him in the first place.
He wouldn't what?
Because he
He
wouldn't
went.
approach him in the first place. He
Frank Martin
backpedaled.
ducked Shakur. What are you talking about?
No, now
Duck.
you talking fantasy right
He
there.
ducked him.
No,
How
he
he
didn't.
ducked
Hey, go, hold
Shakur.
on one second. Hold on one second. Let me get these 2 super chats. I'm gonna let Queen Vaughn jump in. She's been trying to say something. Welcome
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
big dog. Taking my life like a movie. Appreciate it, man. I love that name too, because sometimes it feels like it, don't it? That your life is like a movie. Andre said, facts, Shakur don't have the skills. When we had a chance to see the fight, Shakur turned down his chance and ran to Turkey. And then my guy LeVar is back in the building. It says Shakur had a week to get ready for this guy. Shakur beats Tank 8 rounds to 4. UD, shut up, you arrogant fans. Shakur is not a bum. I agree. Shakur is definitely not a bum. Let me break this though, because I got a couple more people that wanted to jump on before I jump off at about 2.5.
Go ahead, for now.
Go ahead. Go. No, I'm on. Go ahead, Queen Vaughn. Then I'm gonna let my guy respond to you. Albeezy, excuse me. Go ahead, Queen.
So basically, you're saying, first of all, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't want Tank to fight Shakur. I do want him to fight Shakur because I want him to prove to all the fans that Shakur is not the type of fighter that could beat somebody like Tank Davis. You guys, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and discredit Shakur completely and say he don't have skills, but he does not have the skills to beat Tank. Tank, obviously, in each fight, if you pay attention to what he's doing, and I feel like only people who know how to fight can actually see what's happening in the ring, which is Tank is setting up people based on those person's skill set to fall into his traps later on into the fight. Tank knows when he's going to set somebody up to knock him out. If you pay attention to what Tank says before the fights, he literally called what fight he was going to knock Frank out in. He literally said about the 8th. He said that with each of his fighters. He said the same thing with whatever round it was that he took Ryan Garcia out. He called that one too. Frank actually studies each fighter before the fight. So yes, I think preparation does come into play when it comes to fighting somebody when you get into a match with them. But you're talking about somebody like Shakur who fights the same way in each fight. So I don't think that affected his performance against somebody who did not have a training camp at all. His goal, which anybody would do, for somebody who did not prepare for a fight, is to go to the body because they were not conditioned to get into a match in the first place. So for somebody like Shakur, who's such at a high skill level, mind you, Padley is an electrician full time. His part-time job is boxing. On top of that, Frank Martin, who Tank knocked out in the 8th round, lasted less rounds than Padley did against Tank. So that tells you right there the skill level difference. So I'm not trying to sit here and discredit Shakur, but I'm telling you right now, Shakur does not have the skill set. And the reason why Tank fans really don't want to see the fight is because Shakur is not ready. Shakur can't even sell out in his hometown. People are leaving before the fight is over. They're booing him in the fight. So it doesn't make money sense to fight Shakur right now. He needs to build up his resume right now. He needs to get more Padleys in the ring and do more Padley type of situations where he's finishing people before the 12th round, before somebody wouldn't even want to see him in a fight with Tank. Because quite frankly, who's going to spend their money I'm going to spend my money. I know everybody's going to spend their money, but we already know what's going to happen. Unless Shakur jumps out the ring like Broly said, which is why it was brought up because it was hilarious, he's not going to finish the fight with Tank. He's going to probably go to sleep before Padley went to sleep. He didn't even go to sleep before the fight ended with Padley. It's going to be an early night for Shakur. early.
All right, man. Let me get to the next call. Take y'all, Beezy. You there?
Can I say one thing to respond?
Yeah, go ahead,
Bananas?
man.
I'm gonna jump off.
That's cool.
All right. You said Shakur hasn't done nothing. People, first of all, I want to let you know.
135. We're talking about at 135.
I didn't speak one time, Queen, when you spoke.
But you was about to say something about 130, though. I know
you don't know what I'm talking about, Queen.
Okay,
hey, go ahead, Queen Von.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let him go.
All right.
I got like three.
I'm about to jump off, but
behind.
now I just want to make this point. You just said Shakur got to prove himself. He got to look better. But Rolly's fight before Tank was who? Jackson Marinez, a fight that people thought Rolly lost, right? What was did Lamont look spectacular in his last fight? No, he did not look spectacular in his last fight. Or either one of those dudes bigger than Shakur? No way. No way. And you said, I just want to let you know, I'm from North, the place that you said Shakur can't sell out, which he did twice. If people was leaving, that's the catch traffic. He sold out North twice, and he has the record for the Prudential Center in North, New Jersey. None of these guys are bigger than Shakur. You could tell by the way when people ask Tank questions about Shakur, how he get agitated. He know that's the fight that should be made. He don't act like that with anybody else. And Shakur is more proven than anybody else. More proven, more decorated amateur, more decorated professional. And those are the facts, and that's all I got to say.
All right, man. Thanks for coming through, RBZ. All right,
take care.
Yes, sir. All right, next, Steph Brown in the building. What's up, Steph Brown?
Early
what
afternoon.
What up, man? What up?
What up, man? Early afternoon to you.
Bro?
Yeah, you're all good. Salute to the panel. Not much. I just kind of want to come up here and be critical of Shakur too. It was that Phoenix said a lot of stuff that I agree with, and after Saturday's fights, I definitely agree.
Hey, real Steph, I'm gonna walk. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let Apex the God up, and then I'm gonna walk away for a second for like 5-6 minutes, so y'all can just go. Let me get this one. Crawford and Mammadov, agent like milk. Hope that Canelo Crawford doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, Crawford Mammadov. Yeah, because he lost to Virgil Ortiz. I didn't get to see the fight, unfortunately. John Money said Frank went wrong going to Tank's left to get the KO. All right, I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna bring Apex up, and I'm gonna let y'all cook for like 10 minutes. Is that cool?
Yeah.
You good, Queen Vaughn?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Mark, what's going on, bro?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, man?
How you been, man? You know, I ain't been up in the morning time, boy. I missed you.
Yeah. No, I'm good, man. Life is good, brother. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah. I was trying to catch that RBZ guy, man. That's what I was saying. I was trying to catch RBZ up here, man. Because that man had a whole lot of cap in his rap.
Who?
Yep.
Oh, Shakur? Oh, man. Crazy. It's crazy.
If y'all don't know this upper echelon, but you know Apex the guy, but check this out, right? We're gonna what's up, Queen Vaughn? Ain't seen you in a while. I see my boy Phoenix all the time. But
you gotta go on my channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna come check you out. When you go live?
I'm gonna go live this week since it's fight week for Tank. You know what I mean? Gotta show.
I mean, like around what time?
The first day is gonna be when they do. I think the media workout is the first after the first. Whatever they do, their first live stream. I'm gonna go live after that.
Well, you know, we got the AMC FSG Discord, so we be having fight parties. So we be watching the fights in there.
Share that.
Yeah, we watch the fights in there. You feel what I'm saying? We watch it. You know, we boycott the rehab season, so you know we be in there watching the fights. So you know,
definitely drop that in the private chat. Drop that in the private chat.
Yeah, we be watching it, and you know, we be talking and conversating through the fights. But one thing I have to say, right, as a former amateur boxer, a former Golden Glove, right?
Mm-hmm.
RBZ, you sat there and said Shakur has one of the most decorated amateur careers. Well, you know, when we used to go to the amateur tournaments, one thing about that, we don't know who our opponent is. We find out our opponent 5-10 minutes before it's time. Like you one thing about being an amateur, you have to know your opponent. No, you have to be able to adjust to different styles of opponents. That's one. For two, Y'all remember when Shakur was in that chair, when he was all out of shape, sitting in that chair, calling out Tank, talking about Floyd ain't your problem, I'm your problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Do y'all think that Shakur Stevenson right there could get a 3-day notice and get in the ring and win a fight?
No.
Hell no.
Okay, exactly. So you sitting here talking about a man who works a 9 to 5, drinking beer, working on roofs. This man has not had no notice for a fight. This man got no. He was on top of a roof on Tuesday. On Wednesday, he figured out he had a fight. This man came in and went 10 rounds. He went 10 rounds with a so-called great fighter. For one, if a person ain't had no training camp, he ain't got no endurance. He ain't got no stamina. He doesn't have no core work. He ain't got no pad work. He ain't had no spar work. So this is just like a man coming straight off the street, off the bar, coming into a fight, an elite champion. You the best on this card. People sit there and say, well, he trained for Kid Austin, so he's in shape. So Shakur had a training camp. He had pad work. He had endurance. He had snack. Shakur was in his supposed to be his top form. He said he was putting belt to ass. That's what he said.
Yep.
Now, Padley should have been an easier fight because the man had no training. That man wouldn't have lasted 3 rounds against even a Keyshawn Davis. He wouldn't have lasted 3 rounds. The man, Padley, was getting pieced up in the face and was getting mad and coming back. And just like Tank says, Shakur defense, everybody say Shakur defense, no, he has quick twitch muscles. Shakur, he backs straight up. He don't get his head off the line. If you notice, Padley was catching him with leaping hooks.
Yep.
He was catching him with leaping hooks as Shakur backs straight up. You think if you're going against Tank Davis, you can back straight up. And Tank has a quicker hands and he has more explosive power and he's faster on his feet. And dude sitting there talking about Lamont Roach ain't bigger than Shakur. Lamont Roach did good his last fight, if I do remember.
He won by KO. So
yeah, I'm about to say he stopped his last fight. If I don't remember, he stopped his last.
He's going off 2 good wins, beating Hector Garcia and then
he beat
that last opponent.
He beat a gold medalist, Hector Garcia. Shakur's not a gold medalist, and
I'm quite sure Rolly, before he fought Tank, he ended most of his fights in KOs too. I think.
Yeah, and Rolly was also mandatory, which is why they fought. He was WBA mandatory.
Rolly and Tank also had to consolidate their belts because Rolly had the WBA silver and the WBA said it was consolidating all those little belts. But what he failed to realize is Tank Davis took out Ryan, Rolly, all of them in the 8th round. What people don't understand, Tank Davis going into the fight has a clear tactical disadvantage. The man is 5'4". The man is 5'4", going against fighters that are 5'7", 5'8", sometimes 5'10", like Barrios. So the man already has a height and a reach disadvantage. And he calculates damage. People say Tank be getting hit. If you go back and watch, he catches the shit on his gloves. It's his high guard. He catches most of those shots on his gloves. People be thinking Tank be getting hit. No, it's called catching and shooting. He catches them on the gloves and shoots. He catches on the gloves and he shoots. Yes, he slips them. Yes, he also slips them.
Right when the punch comes, he turns his face so it doesn't land clean. The people don't even
notice
that.
Exactly. But see, this is what they don't also. He's a computer that be computing. From the moment the bell ring, Tank is sitting here doing feints. He's throwing shots. He's downloading data. He's seeing what reaction you will make to whatever he does. And by the 6th round, that's when Tank turns it up. He knows if I do this, you're gonna do that. If I do this, you're gonna do that. And then after that, it's like when you playing spades and all the spades are going off the table and you got the whole boss suit left. You got the ace, king, queen, 10, jack of hearts. Ain't no more spades. All you do now is just walk it down and just like Frank Martin. Frank Martin was caught in a rock and a hard place. He didn't know if he wanted to go left, right, take a knee, nothing, because Tank has corralled him. He done figured out everything the man was about to do. Just like Leo Santa Cruz. Tank sat there. He seen what happened. And he set him up, caught him with the uppercut. And people don't even realize that Tank took a step back and to the left so he can torque that uppercut to Frank. If y'all notice, he seen the other one didn't land, so he adjusted his shot. Mario Barrios had a full length. Tank timed that man as he shot out the straight. Tank slipped under the straight and caught that man with a damn looping right and dropped him. Under the jab. Tank is so explosive that he was able to close the distance and hit that man with a looping right to stop him. Rolly Romero was coming in rushing with the wide hook. Tank timed him. and shot that shot in there and finished him off with his own momentum. Ryan Garcia in the second round was coming with that vicious hook, and Tank sat there and timed him and got his off first and dropped Ryan, then finished him to the body.
Hey,
Hector Garcia was doing the same straight.
Real quick though, on that Ryan fight, if y'all paid attention to Tank before he was doing, like when he was training, he trained with what's that MMA dude, the champion, the heavy, what's his name, the black dude. I don't really watch it, so I can't remember.
Are you talking about Adesanya?
Nah, the big black dude. What's his name?
Rampage.
Ngannou.
Huh?
Ngannou?
Rampage.
John Jones.
John Jones. Tank was training with John Jones up before the Ryan fight. He was training with him. If you paid attention to that punch, Tank actually threw a martial arts type of punch. The way he, like, I don't know if y'all, I know
it was a short hook. It was a short hook.
Yeah, but it wasn't a hook. It was actually a straight like body shot. And the way he threw that jump was like a Bruce Lee type of. If you know Wing Chun.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about the second round when he threw that hook around.
I'm talking about the one that took him out. If you paid attention,
interesting.
Liver shot.
If y'all pay attention to that punch, that joint was like a Bruce Lee type of joint. Like it came straight. Like y'all gotta man. That.
Now I remember it because hey, go back and watch it. Like you could hear the impact of the punch hitting Ryan. It almost sounded like when the gloves hit together. Like you could see that. So at first I had thought he hit Ryan in the face. When you see the angle, you're like, damn, a body shot was that loud? I'm like, yeah.
But I don't know if y'all know different types of martial arts, but the one that Bruce Lee studied at first was Wing Chun. And that punch was like a straight, they all center punches, bro. The way he threw that joint, I was like, bro, that's crazy.
But what I was saying though, Queen Vaughn,
go ahead.
But what I was saying though, if you give a person, this man has to calculate, and like I said, he comes from a disadvantage because being 5'4" with a shorter reach. Of course he's going to get hit, but like I said, most of them shots are ineffective. They go off the gloves. He slipped most of them and everything. He closed the distance. If Shakur was at a disadvantage like that, it wouldn't be the same. Shakur was a 147-pounder in that ring versus Padley. You could clearly see the size differential. Mm-hmm. He was much bigger than that guy. Him and Devin both rehydrate a lot bigger than their opponents. But like I told you, Shakur Stevenson that was sitting in that chair, if you gave him 3 days notice and asked him to get out after 3 days notice and go fight 10 rounds, there's no way he would have been there. He looked like he was gassing out versus Padley. This man came off the darn job the same week and had a fight without no training camp. Shakur had a full 9-week training camp. You can't ask no boxer to come off, start cold with no training, no core work, no pad work, no sparring, and expect him to go 10 rounds with an elite fighter. If I do it, I haven't boxed in years, but if I go through a 9-week training camp, and I don't care who it is, you tell somebody to come off the street to come fight me with a week training camp, I'm gonna bust them down in at least 3 rounds. And I haven't boxed in years. It's no way. It's no way. And that's what I said once before. If y'all go back to that Shakur that called out Tank in that chair, how he was out of shape. Do y'all think that Shakur Stevenson couldn't even go in there and go 5 rounds with a George Kambosos? And that's my good word right there, because he's out of shape.
All right, bro. Hey, I'm gonna let Steph go and then Kamal go, and then I'm gonna break. Thank you. Right. Come back tomorrow,
right,
brother.
Martin, I'm gonna catch you back, bro. I'm glad you're back out here, man.
Drop the Discord so I can catch that.
Okay, I gotta get it. I'll drop it in the chat if that's all right with Martin.
Yeah, you can do it. All right, man.
All right.
Steph, was you gonna say something?
Yeah. My bad.
No worries.
Coming back to Shakur. Look, man, last Tuesday around this time when that fight got announced that he wasn't going to be fighting Floyd, I told myself and anyone else who would listen, I was like, man, he shouldn't even fight that, man. Like, go ahead and just keep it pressing. I thought it was interesting enough that he didn't, make the call for Joe Cardina or something like that, who he's originally was supposed to fight. But then again, both fights that I just mentioned, that's right up his alley. That's what he does, man. Not impressed with that stuff. And then this new, all of a sudden, for me at least, his hands, it hurt. He's fine, man. Like what's up with that? Like that's out of nowhere. When have we ever known this guy to be a devastating puncher or a guy who could really get people up and out of there. And then when you start going through his resume, he's not built like that, man. He's just not. Um, what else you got on this guy? And then everyone wants him to fight Tank. I mean, whatever, man. I mean, question marks on all these guys. Everyone says Tank hasn't fought anybody. All the best guys aren't fighting anybody. The top guys, that is. So, it is what it is, Fanana. I'm about ready to just kind of hang back and get up off these dudes, man, because none of them are really doing anything for me, man.
I feel you, bro.
You know me, though. I'm a pest, so that's about it. And I'm gonna be back in the chat, man. I'll let
Thank
y'all
you,
do your
man.
thing.
Appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Bass Reeves. There's a road by my house called Bass Pro. Every time I drive by Bass Pro, I think about you, brother.
Already. Well, enjoy, man. Have a good start to the week.
All right, man. One love. You as well. All right. Come on. What up, man?
Hey, what up? It's an honor to be on here with Phoenix and MacGyverick. MacGyverick, drop your channel link because I want to subscribe to you. Drop it in the main chat because I want to subscribe to you. And then Upper Echelon, he brought the facts perfectly. I want to bring this up. People keep on saying Frank ducked, and I'm going to counter that. Frank definitely did not duck Shakur. He was sent a poison pill contract that was not what he had verbally agreed to, where Shakur was getting paid 4 or 5 times what he was going to get paid. And so he said, no, this is not what I agreed to. You want me to go over to the Ops Network, a difficult fight, and then you give me a different contract than what I verbally agreed to? He made the only decision that was right. He's with Al Heyman and PBC. He's not with some small promoter that doesn't look out for his best interest. He's Errol Spence's fighter. He definitely did not duck. And in the grand scheme of things, he chose the better fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. And he's better than anybody on Shakur's resume. To echo what Steph just said, Turkey should have taken Shakur off this card instead of giving him that domestic UK level fighter and put him on the Haney Garcia card and given him a better fighter. That would have been the best opportunity for him. But we just got to start, like Upper Echelon would say, we got to start talking facts. Rolly Romero, Tank didn't even want to fight. He was a mandatory fight by the WBA. They mandated that fight. And so he did not even want to fight the guy, and he fought him. And then if we're going to be honest, Rolly Romero won a title after fighting Tank. People want to fight Tank's leftovers. You have Keyshawn Davis that should be calling out Andy Cruz. Let's talk about that. He should be talking about Andy Cruz. Who's he calling out now? Pitbull Cruz. He's got the wrong Cruz. Pitbull Cruz is another Gervonta Tank Davis leftover. And I see people in the chat talking about Pitbull Cruz is a bum and this and that, lying and stuff. Don't even lie about that. Pitbull Cruz is a good quality fighter. Just because you may not like his style does not make him a bum. But again, so many people have been calling him out. Ryan's called out Pitbull Cruz. Rolly fought Pitbull Cruz. Even Devin Haney for the Haney-ax in there. Haney wanted to fight Pitbull Cruz and Rolly Romero. But when Tank fights them, they're bums? Who's calling out Shakur and Devin's leftovers? No one. But they all want to fight Tank's leftovers. So you're entitled to your own feelings, but you're not entitled to your own facts. Last thing I'll say before I get off of here, we've got over 600 people, almost 700 people in this chat. We're only at 400 likes. We need to be at least at 600 likes with all the good stuff Fanon is doing and this panel's doing, Upper Echelon coming through, setting people straight. We want to see the fight. But, in the end, this is what I'll end with. In the end, Fanon, Shakur Stevenson didn't have the same level of confidence in beating Tank that his fans did. Because if he had that same level of confidence, bottom line, he would have signed that one fight deal and said, I'm going to beat you, Tank, and then you will get the rematch. But he didn't want that fight. He didn't want to have that same confidence that you guys have in him. Because if he had the supreme level of confidence he did have, he would say, I'm going to beat you, Tank, and I know it's a one-way rematch clause. When I beat you, you'll have to fight me again. With that, I'm out. Thank you.
All right, man. Get back. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let me read this. Hey, Tank ducked in Loma 6 years ago. There's footage Tank crying in the locker room of the Mayweather gym when Floyd threatened him with the Loma fight. You wildin'. That dude be wildin'.
He definitely.
And Big Dog Willie said Tank is a light-skinned, muscle-bound Gary Coleman. That's funny.
Man,
All right, so anybody got,
What you talking
y'all
about,
got
Willis?
last things y'all want to talk about before I head out? I got to mop floors for my mother today.
Nah, we hit all the
I'll say one more thing. It is Tank Fight Week. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we're gonna have a greater fight card than the greatest fight card of the century. The fights are gonna be more electrifying, even without an electrician present. We're gonna have the actual best fighter in the world on the card. We're gonna see some entertaining fights. We're not gonna have the venue move to 125% of the size afterwards.
We're gonna break
And
a
it's
new
gonna be put
record.
on, and it's gonna be put on by PBC without the help of Turkey. And without having to have 4 promotional companies come together to do it. It's going to be PBC only, and it's going to be on Prime. And we excited for that. And we will see a better performance, a performance worthy of someone who's called a pound for pound king, not one of them bullshits we seen over this past weekend. And with that, I'm out.
All right, Phoenix, get back, brother.
Appreciate you, Phoenix. Appreciate you,
All
Fun.
right.
I had a good time talking. I just want to say to all you Shakur fans out there, please wake up and smell the coffee before you get on the show because you clearly don't have all your faculties intact. And with that, I'm out.
All right, McGaverick. Hey, I'm McGaverick. All right, Queen Vaughn, get back with you. All right, I would like to remind you before I get off here, the Turki Alalshiek got caught fixing a fight on live television. I'm going to repeat this. Turki Alalshiek, you got caught fixing a fight on live TV. What a shame. What a sham. Try to steal that man's championship and get over on people betting a lot of money. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. And I'm going to be reminding you here forward that Turki Alalshiek fixes fights. So I don't trust any outcome of any fight coming out of Saudi Arabia that he's involved in because he blatantly cheated for his fighter. So don't get mad if Gervonta says, give me 2 Ferraris and pay me extra if you think I'm going over there because I'm going to need a knockout to beat him. He get out, but he's not saying, Mr. Clever Guy, that he doesn't think he can beat him on the cards. Like if he could fight anywhere in the world with any judges on any scorecard to any judges to Shakur. No, he's afraid of being robbed. He's afraid of having his fight be a setup. He's afraid of his fight being fixed. As we do when he said 2 points, you're down 2 points. So spare that line of garbage. And the link was on the chat and none of y'all defended him. Y'all wanted to talk to Queen Vaughn. You wanted to talk to Phoenix the Assassin. And ain't nobody clicked this link to talk about the stuff you know is the real subject here, which is that Turki Alalshiek fixed that fight, tried to rob that Dominican fighter of his championship, and they treated him, now I hear, calling him an ambassador. An ambassador? Introduced him as an ambassador of Saudi Arabia. You put a Saudi Arabian ambassador into a boxing ring. A formal representative of your country, you put into a boxing match in your country and fix the fight. Because you guys are going to have your first Saudi world champion, no matter what. And I'm sure you're going to try to force a rematch. You're not get Carlos Adames any other fights. Try to blackball him until he gets back in the ring and gives that dude another chance for these guys to fix another fight in Saudi Arabia. You guys are buffoons. And I'm telling you, once again, you niggas is under investigation. So you better stop doing it. Wow. And matter of fact, if you did it, homie, it's too late. What happened with what's the airport shenanigans with? What are the airport shenanigans with Adames? He said, seriously, what airport shenanigans happened with Carlos Adames. I'll wait for that, Kamal, if you could tell me what happened. Hashtag for real. I mean, I can't believe you guys. I can't. As soon as I saw that one thing, I was like, it's a fixed fight. And now you guys are telling me about more things related to Carlos Adames and him getting in and out. The fight was drastically delayed. Dude, why would you trust these people, man? Messing with the man's airplane flights, telling their ambassador that he's 2 points down on a card. The card is the trump card that he's down on, by the way. Boxing's trump card. Anyway, I got to bounce. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat, and I'll get back with y'all tomorrow. Deuces.